bad group of circumstances there, T.
Again, if you're in the market for a new or used car, our friends at Hoover Toyota, they have got you covered. I got my daughter a RAV back in December of 2024. I'm in the new Land Cruiser, absolutely loving that. Got that back in October, and both buying experiences were an absolute joy. They have mastered the red carpet program to make you come back for life as a customer right there at Hoover Toyota. Conveniently located on Highway 150. Get in and see Scott, Kim, Harold, all the fine folks there. They've got the best inventory out there, the best on-site finance department as well. To view that inventory, hoovertoyota.com.
Well, listen, I accept that I'm at the age now where, I feel like the Knicks are in the finals for the first time since 1999, and they listed all the things that didn't exist the last time the Knicks were in the finals, Twitter and,
iPhone,
AI, all that stuff, Teslas, that kind of stuff. And I looked at that list, and I was like, I think I'd be okay without any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So 1999 was probably a good year.
Okay.
And all that stuff, I used some of it. And then I see an ad this morning, and I don't know if you have it, Forrester, or not, but it's the new iPhone earbuds that are about to come out. Do you know what the new iPhone earbuds are going to have on them?
I do not.
They're going to have a camera on the earbuds.
Why?
So I want to take a photo of something next to me?
No, not for you to take photos, so that it can load up images into AI and allow you, like if you point your ear at the refrigerator, you look at the refrigerator, it's going to be designed where it sort of sees what you're looking. And if you look at the refrigerator, you can ask, what do I want to eat? And it'll be able to tell you what you want to eat.
Well, can't I just figure that out myself?
Or what I'm looking at and stuff.
God, we do some dumbass things.
We really do. My wife and I bought a refrigerator not too terribly long ago for our upstairs kitchen. And
don't make them like they used to, by the way.
They don't, Lance, but we were in the store, and this one connects to Wi-Fi. And I said, why in the world do I need my refrigerator to connect to Wi-Fi?
You can be spied on.
There is nothing in this world that my refrigerator needs to be connected into Wi-Fi for.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, I go back to 1999, and I can't recall because, we had cell phones at that point. Now it was the old Razor or the flip phone.
You didn't have an iPhone. Yeah, but you had cell phone.
I don't need an iPhone. I don't need social media. I sure as hell don't need an autonomous car.
Yeah. Apple is actively testing the next generation AirPods built-in cameras. These will act as visual sensors for Siri to help the AI understand your surroundings in real time, although they are not designed to explicitly not capture photos or videos in order to protect your privacy.
They didn't say they don't do that, did they, Jim?
They said not designed to do that.
Yep.
While camera-equipped AirPods are currently in the testing phase, existing iPhones and AirPods already offer fantastic camera and earphones integration. So you'll be able to use those in the future.
I don't know about you guys. Technically, the advancement that I would want from 99 till now is TV and how high def, even going to 4K, and how super cheap TVs are now. I do think that is great.
Yeah.
I watch now I never know when I'm watching these old games, like if that's the way it looked on my TV.
Next Round hoodies and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
New week of live shows as we get going today. A lot to get to. The NBA Finals are set. The Stanley Cup finals are set. We have not set the super regionals in baseball yet. We'll get to that conversation coming up in a moment as Auburn still has work to do. Alabama's advanced to the supers. Troy still has a shot to get there. Jack State dropped out of some local teams. But a big day ahead. We'll get to that coming up. Softball today as the winners' brackets and the losers' brackets collide to try to set up the championship series. But we start with, it's Brendan Sorsby Day in court in college football. It is the day of the injunction hearing. But over the weekend, legal documents filed before this injunction hearing comes out. And per ESPN, this may have been a little bit more a little deeper than first thought on Brendan Sorsby. At least when I saw this, it looked like he was more involved in betting than I thought it was I was led to believe early on. If you missed the story over the weekend, ahead of this injunction hearing today, ESPN says the legal documents show that Sorsby admits to making at least 40 bets on Indiana when he was on the Indiana team, that he bet over $90,000 over 4 years, that he bet on teammates and prop bets when he was at Indiana. He had multiple sportsbook accounts through family members, that he transferred $60,000 to two friends to keep funding into those multiple accounts, and that he continued to bet not only when he was at Indiana and Cincinnati, but even after he got to Lubbock, he was still betting. When you saw these numbers, did it look deeper than what you first thought it was going to be?
No, not really. I kind of said that when we've been talking about the story here and there, that I thought this thing, once we got the details, it was going to look worse than it is. Now, I will say this. When you hear some of the amounts, back it up and think about it like this. Like if you, over a good time period, if you bet 1,000 bets, which seems crazy, but it's really not. Like, throughout a football season, I would think most people that wager probably wager 1,000 times. And if you're a $100 player, that's $100,000 in bets.
If you're counting each game as a wager, which is what you're doing there. So if I got 6 games on a Saturday, that's 6 wagers.
Yeah, and so it seems like really excessive. But think about if you play, let's just do 10 games a week. So you're playing 5 in college, 5 in the NFL, 10 a week for 20 weeks. I mean, that's 200. I mean, and that seems low when you think about it.
Yeah, and this is over several years, the 90,000, right?
Yeah, I guess it's 4 years.
4 years. Yeah. So I mean, the sheer size of the money amount is surprising to me that it's as low as it is. To be honest with you, like just 90,000, I would say. Just $90,000 in bets. Now, that $90,000 is a lot of money to bet for anyone, really. I don't care how much money you got. That's a lot of money to bet. But when I heard the volume of bets, I would have thought the money figure over a 4-year period of time would be more than $90,000.
Yeah, because it's not he won or lost $90,000. He wagered $90,000 total dollars. I mean, the plus or minus, the sum could end up being, $1,000 one way or $1,000 the other way. I think it's just the amount of bets. The fact that,
it's the amount of bets on Indiana that bothers me the most.
And that he was still playing when he was at Cincinnati and then ultimately Texas Tech.
Yeah. Yeah, the amount of bets on teammates and on his own team is very, very low.
There is no chance because I think there's not a precedent for this necessarily, but there are precedents in other leagues. And, it states very clearly in these other leagues that you cannot wager on your sport or any other sports in certain sports. So, I think this thing is pretty black and white. I would be absolutely shocked. I know we've all agreed. It seems like his playing days are over.
The argument they're going to take, though, according to reports, the Brendan Sorsby lawyer is going to say, if you penalize Sorsby where you make him ineligible, other athletes will not seek help like he has sought help in the 35 days of treatment for addiction, that the other athletes will not seek help. If you're going to penalize him for coming forward. Now, keep in mind, I think he only came forward after he was caught.
So here's what my argument back. If I'm the prosecutor on that, I would say, no, we penalize him this heavily so they won't do it. Yeah. I understand that there are ones doing it that need to seek help, but we hope through the severity of these penalties that players in the future will think twice before they do this again.
And you can't tell me that he didn't know this was coming. Like maybe he wanted to get help, but they would keep help quiet if this wasn't coming anyway.
Yeah.
This is the equivalent of somebody pleading out to involuntary manslaughter when they've got a murder charge and they're going to get a lesser sentence. Just because you plead guilty doesn't mean you get off.
Yeah, forgive me for asking this. What is the actual lawsuit that Sorsby has filed a lawsuit saying he should be eligible?
It's an injunction hearing today saying the NCAA he doesn't think he should be ineligible to get his eligibility back.
restored.
Yeah.
Boy, it seems like a tough argument. I mean, if I'm a judge just sitting there listening to this, I'm like, two questions here. Does the NCAA prohibit college football players gambling on college football? Yes, Your Honor, they do. Second question, do you deny the allegations in the charging documents here? No, Your Honor, we do not.
See,
Boys, we can go grab lunch. This is over.
You guys and I are totally different. $90,000. I mean, that's $23,000 a year of gambling.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is if you...
And I bet if you went back and looked at your small amounts of wagers, it would be 5 figures. It'd be $10,000. The small amounts you play.
Not even close.
Oh, you're talking about right now or when he had his Tercel?
Oh, I'm talking about right now. Like, you don't understand how quick it adds up.
Ooh, no, there's no way.
I don't even make... The biggest bet I ever make is $10.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, then maybe you're a bad example.
Yeah. No, I am too, like on
But
Cow
again, I
Sheet.
mean, people
Yeah.
play $100 is not a lot of money.
No.
I mean, it's just not.
The reason...
And there's I would say your average player is probably $100 to $500 now, and I mean, it just adds up quickly.
The reason I said only 90,000 is because of the depth of this addiction. I mean, if
it's not a lot.
If truthfully he were betting on balls and strikes in a particular game, if that part were true, that showed us how deep this addiction for him went. And if it's 90,000 over a 4-year period, if that is indeed the number, that's all I'm saying, Jim, is that I would have thought with that deep of an addiction, the number would be greater than that.
Losing 90,000, that's a lot of money. But that type of volume, when you're playing $100 here and there, it adds up.
I mean,
quickly.
think about how many. If he's that addicted, how many bets a year do you think he was making, Lance? Just guess. I mean, if he's betting on balls and strikes,
he's probably spraying the board.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably more like a $25 or $50 player, and he's probably playing 50 different games on a Saturday.
Yeah. So I mean, just think about the volume of bets he made, and it's only $90,000 gambled. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money to bet. That's a lot of money to bet. But the depth of his addiction, I'm surprised the number is that low. And I don't think that matters. The fact that you're betting on your team at all, I don't care if it's $1 or $1 million. If you're betting on your team or players on your team, it's illegal.
Over a 7-day period, if he's averaging 7 bets a day at $100, that's $20,000 a month right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it adds up quickly.
That's why I'm saying I'm surprised that number's that low.
Yeah,
but I just, from the context of the average Alabamian yearly income is less than $50,000. So we're talking about some of our viewers. Some of our viewers, 2 years of salaries bet.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Okay. This is not losing $50,000. This is the amounts that are being bet. Like if you're losing $50,000 to $90,000, that's a lot. But more than likely, even if he's awful, he's 40%. So on top of that, I mean, quick math. I mean, what's he losing? Maybe $10,000 over 4 years, which still isn't good. But like. That's like a sensational amount where people will look at that don't understand that he's got all of these wagers that are probably coming in at an average of $50 to $100.
So on the football field, without Brendan Sorsby, we've talked about this several times, but you guys still feel good that Texas Tech can win the Big 12 without him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they can, and I think they'll have to. Yes, on both those. I think they can win the Big 12. In fact, I think they're still the favorite without him.
They will still be the favorite. Now, the interesting thing is Will Hammond. How healthy will he be?
Was it Furman that brought that up? Like, there's still word out there that Will Hammond. There was somebody we talked to last week.
It was Furman.
Yeah, was it Furman that was like, I just don't know that he's 100% for game one.
Yeah, I mean, Bear Bachmeier and Devin Dampier for BYU and Utah seem like better quarterbacks right now than their option. If Will Hammond's not healthy, but I still think with that defense and with that schedule, even without playing Texas Tech or without playing Texas, they're still going to be they're going to be favored.
Our show today being brought to you by the great folks at Central State Bank. Brownie, tell us about this great local financial institution.
A bank that is big enough to meet every need you have, but they are also small enough to know you. It is a bank that, whatever the case might be, anything from buying a car to starting your own business, Central State Bank is there for you. And when I say it is a local bank, what that means is the people that are making the decisions that most impact your life are people that are living in your community. They are going to church where you go to church. The kids play ball at the same ballparks, things like that, right? Those are the people making the decisions, and they get to know you. They don't just open accounts at Central State Bank. They open relationships. Central State Bank, they are building relationships one account at a time, big enough to meet every need, small enough to know you. Member FDIC. Can I say something real quick? Did you need to do another read there?
No.
There's confusion, I think, in the chat room. You're not defending Sorsby here. You're saying he should be suspended.
I said it the whole time. Like, he should never play again.
Okay. I just wanted, I think somebody misheard something in the chat room. They're like, is Lance defending this guy? You're not defending him.
Absolutely not. But reading here, court filings show that Sorsby placed at least 165 bets, totaling at least $38,000 while at Cincinnati. I mean, that's $200 a game, less than.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the numbers, when you see it as a whole, looks big, but it's really not nearly.
You and I are saying the same thing.
Think.
We thought it was going to be bigger than it was, but both of us are saying,
he should not play again.
He should not play, and I don't think either one of us think he will play.
No.
Okay. I just wanted to clear that up.
And I'm just saying that, I mean, that averaged out while at Cincinnati over $100 a bet, right? Yeah.
That's a big bet, but I would have thought bigger.
For me.
Oh, for a lot of people it is. I would just, the depth, all I'm saying is, with the depth of his addiction, I would have thought the numbers would be bigger.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, and let's face it, he's already made more than the three of us probably in our lifetime. So, that's really not a big bet for Sorsby.
It's true. No telling the money he had.
If you have some money, TNR store, reasonably priced, great gear, you can jump in there. LT, tell us how we get our gear up here.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've still got some summer gear available. Some of the the Tampa Bay Buck colors, the Miami Dolphins, the Rams colors, all those summer colors up and available right now. Rash guards, T-shirts, hoodies, great hats. Go to TNR store.
Next round store.
Next round dot store. Yeah, and get your gear for this summer.
Yeah, got one hat on today, the camo, after Alabama wore their military uniforms yesterday to sweep through to the super regionals in baseball. More on them in a second, but go check that out right there on our website and pick up the stuff. Auburn, though, just to show you how crazy baseball is. We discussed on Friday, I was making a point that you don't pitch your best pitcher against Milwaukee. Wisconsin-Milwaukee's RPI coming into the regional down at Auburn was 238. And I was like, why are you pitching your best pitcher against RPI 238? You know, this was a team that they won the auto bid, but they weren't even the best team in their league. 238. And then I go home, I grab a sandwich before golf, and it's 7-0. Then I'm on my way driving to play golf. It's 10-0. Not Auburn, Milwaukee. Against that ace, and then against Lance Cormier's son, and the Alabama great whose son plays at Auburn. Lance with us later in the show. And all of a sudden, this Auburn pitching staff gets rocked by Wisconsin-Milwaukee. The next game, Auburn wins, but they give up 13 runs to NC State. What was up is now down. What was down is now up. But here we are on a Monday, and it all doesn't matter because Auburn plays today against Milwaukee. They're minus 1450. To win the game today.
That's pretty hefty, isn't it? Yeah. In a baseball game?
To win the game, plus 750 on the money line for Milwaukee, I think, something like that. You see the celebration down there. Here's Butch Thompson after the win last night. They win 2 games yesterday. The win last night finishes about 1 o'clock this morning, so Auburn gets to play today at 5 o'clock. Here's Butch.
Job's not done. We got to come out here tomorrow and stay present and keep fighting. The boys fought hard all day, and the last thing you can do is let human nature start changing you or something right here. We're there. We can kind of see the summit of everything here, but these guys got to get home. It's 1:10 in the morning, so we got to get back and figure out who's going to pitch. They did score 26 runs the first 2 games, which is the most for a 4 seed in the history of this tournament. So I got to keep reminding them of that. We need a good spirit tomorrow. And we got to stay hot offensively, and we got to figure out what we're going to do on the mound.
Okay, on the fly, better chance of happening. Sorsby plays a snap this year, or Auburn loses this game to a 27-32 Milwaukee
Sorsby
team.
plays a snap. I mean, Auburn will not. Now, when he says we got to figure out pitching, I mean, Milwaukee's got to be in the same situation.
Got to be in the
right?
same situation.
Brown, they're in the Horizon League.
I'm well aware.
They're
yes,
238.
I know.
I didn't think they'd hold on to beat Auburn in the first game because I figured their pitching would wear out by the end of the first
That's what
game.
I told Forrester. I walked back there and him and Brooks, and when you guys were gone, I was like, so what's the score now? Forrester was like, I turned it off. And I was like, this is probably a good opportunity to jump in game action and be able to get a great return on Auburn.
So my golf group Friday afternoon, when the score got announced, I was not even paying attention. I'm like, Auburn will destroy Milwaukee. Not even paying attention.
Not me. I was listening to play-by-play
No,
on the
but
golf
you
cart.
I mean, remember the run line was minus 6.5 runs.
We're on the 16th hole when somebody says, Auburn just lost to Milwaukee. I said, I beg your pardon? He said, Auburn just lost to Milwaukee. And then one of the other guys of the group said, my favorite sports show, one of the hosts today was doing a Kalshi read me and said 10% is on Milwaukee. What kind of idiot puts anything on Milwaukee?
So this guy didn't even know he was listening to you?
No, he did.
Oh,
he was
okay.
joking. Yes.
I was arguing you shouldn't even pitch one of your best three pitchers.
I know. I was like,
Which, by the way,
Well, you probably shouldn't have.
It couldn't have gone worse.
Right. They could have put one of us out there.
I was like, who's got 10% on Milwaukee? But to your point, one of the other guys in the group said, I logged on in game to try to get Auburn, and I couldn't get it to go, not on Kalshi, it was on another service. Couldn't get it to go through. He goes, thank goodness it didn't go through. I'd have lost that. I mean, everybody thought Auburn was going to come back and win that.
Hey,
Milwaukee, I guess.
This is the way stories happen, though, the best sports stories. Because if I remember correctly, Auburn's run to their first Final Four in basketball, they didn't. Obviously, you didn't lose your first game.
New Mexico State.
It was
They
a
all
scare, right?
all but lost it to Christians, yeah.
So you could see a team lose to Milwaukee 238, and then all of a sudden they somehow claw their way back. They win. Then they get to the Supers. They sweep through that, and they go to Omaha, and it could turn into one of those special stories. Still alive. Auburn, 5 o'clock today, ESPNU.
And you've got, some long shots still alive like St. John's. You could water down or dilute the field a little bit. Troy. You've already got St. Mary's who beat UCLA twice over the weekend, which is pretty incredible.
But then got knocked out. I think UC Irvine turned in and knocked them out.
Yeah.
This event has turned into what we want the NCAA basketball tournament to be, right? Like, nobody is safe.
It is baseball. It's
It
a
is
weird
baseball,
sport.
though, yeah.
Yeah, let's give Alabama a little shout out before we get to the rest of the games. Alabama wins yesterday. They beat everybody as they sweep through their series without a loss. But last night gets hairy against Oklahoma State. It takes a throw out, a catcher throwing someone out, Brady Neal, after Forster tells me he had dislocated his thumb. Then Brady hits a bomb that gives them the lead, and they hold off Oklahoma State. Here's the swing and the ball that gets out into the bleachers. I forget what they call their right field bleachers out there.
Right field rowdies?
The Rowdies, is that what they are?
Right
no
field
idea.
Ragers, the
okay.
Ragers out in right field, packed out there.
They had quite a collection of beer cans going.
Yep, why not? So he hits the home run, and then they get the bases loaded, 9-7, get the out in the bottom of the inning. Here's Brady Neal and the hero, and Rob Vaughn, the head coach, on Neal throwing out a runner and hitting a homer after dislocating his thumb. Baseball.
Throwing guys out is really a pitcher's thing. I should be able at this level to make a throw on the bag. Like that should be across the board. But like that's a team thing, man. That's this guy being quick to the plate, working on that in the fall, staying up on that, and that's how I can do it. If these guys aren't quick, I have no shot. So.
And what makes that even more impressive is just we talk about toughness, right? When he disappeared into the back, that thumb was not in place when he disappeared to the back, and he popped that thing back in the bag and said, "I'm good to go." Like, not only did after that does he make that big time throw, then he hits the homer. Like, man, I can ride with tough dudes like him any day of the week.
Something that comes with the game. It comes with this sport at this level, man. We play 56 postseason games during the year. Like during the SEC, we go through a gauntlet. Like injuries are going to happen. You're going to hurt your hand. Your hamstring's going to hurt. You're going to wake up with a kink in your neck. That's just part of it, man. It just comes from wanting to do it for your boys, man. Like, are you hurt or are you injured? As my dad always said, like, you suck it up and go out there and play, man. So,
yeah. Now catchers are different, man. They take a beating.
They're the offensive lineman of baseball.
Got a little
right?
Spencer Pratt in him.
Yeah, I can see that.
So here's the slate. Go ahead, Brown.
Well, I was just going to say that home run that he hit, because the NCAA continues to have the dumbest system possible in most things they do, was a top of the ninth home run, right? Because in the stupidity of the NCAA, Oklahoma State in Alabama's park
Man, there's
Coming
a
out of
reason
the-
you've got a home field advantage
I
for
know.
your regional.
Coming out of the losers bracket in Alabama's Park is the home team. Makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. But
If they had gone to a 7th game, Alabama, if you don't know the rules, would have flipped around and been the home team in the final
if you
game.
don't know the rules are stupid, they are.
More baseball in a second, but here's the slate today. These are winner-take-all games, as LT was hinting at. Florida State, St. John, first up. Winner of that goes to Alabama in the Super Regional. Georgia Tech and Oklahoma go today on ESPNU as well. Georgia Tech head coach Brent Key at the game caught on camera booing as the Oklahoma coach came out to talk to his pitcher. That's really good. Is Florida State St. John? They got to do 2 today. So
First game, Florida State is a minus 410 favorite. Interesting. You get 2 brands like Georgia Tech and Oklahoma. And I know how good Georgia Tech's been this year.
Yeah.
But Georgia Tech minus 425 in that game.
Auburn and Milwaukee's a 5, ESPNU. That is the Troy Trojan logo as they go a winner-take-all game against Florida on ESPN Plus tonight. Got to have the ESPN app to watch that one. That's at 5 o'clock, same time as the Auburn game. West Virginia, Kentucky, Brown and I, and maybe ULT, were watching the end of that game yesterday between West Virginia and Kentucky when in West Virginia's park they had a home run in the top of the 9th as well. The place went bonkers. I thought we were about to burn couches in the stands.
Oh, I bet if they win today, they probably
it
will.
was why, and a great scene afterwards where they embraced one another and sing Country Roads with the crowd. I mean, it was just a spectacular. I hate it for Kentucky because they had hit 2 homers in the 7th to take what – I don't know why you would think this watching this event, that it was an insurmountable lead, but West Virginia fought back. It was a great scene.
Yeah, the bullpens don't close it out just as
No, they're not quite as dependable.
not the Dodgers bullpen.
According to Vegas, that will be the tightest game.
Well,
West Virginia
I
only a
believe it.
minus 166 favorite today.
USC and Texas A&M, the nightcap there on ESPN2. Baseball, if you enjoy that all day long. And then there's softball that we'll get to, which happens today as well after LT tells you about the great folks at Hoover Toyota.
Hey, if you're in the market, new or used, they've got the best inventory out there. They've got that on-site finance department as well. They have been perfecting the art of customer service for over 2 decades now, serving Birmingham, Alabaster, Vestavia. They've got that red carpet program. They want to roll it out for you. Make sure you're a customer for life. I'm speaking from experience. I've utilized the fine folks at Hoover Toyota twice over the last 2 years. Daughter's loving her RAV. I'm loving my Land Cruiser. Stop in, see Scott, Harold, Kim, all the fine folks right there, conveniently located Highway 150 in Hoover, or online to view that inventory, hoovertoyota.com.
Good versus evil tonight. Alabama softball taking on Texas Tech. I won't say Texas Tech built their team with money through the portal because Alabama has a lot of portal players too, and Alabama doesn't hurt for money. But this Texas Tech team, is it Jason Williams? Is that the former NBA player? Mm-hmm. His daughter Mia is just a beast at hitting home runs. And she hit one yesterday. If it's a strike, she's got a chance of knocking it out of the park. She's a beast at the plate. But Texas Tech eliminated UCLA last night. So tonight for Alabama, they get Texas Tech at 6. If Bama wins, they're off to the best of 3 championship series. If Texas Tech wins, you turn right around and play an elimination game 30 minutes after the conclusion. So 2 games tonight for Bama, hopefully only 1. Jocelyn Brisky throws a 1-hitter to beat Nebraska over the weekend to get Alabama into this situation where they got 2 chances to advance now with 1 win to the championship series. Here's Pat Murphy on the turnaround SEC Pitcher of the Year, Jocelyn Brisky.
You've coached a lot of great pitchers. Where does that rank? Because she's so calm and poised, which I don't think comes off on TV like it does in person.
Well, the first 2 games, that's 2 of the best we've ever had here, back to back, especially against, they're both, I looked at their stats and they were similar to UCLA. I mean, they had, 404, 400, 19, 17, 15 home runs. It was the same thing as UCLA. So for her to do it back to back against 2 really good hitting teams, and, they were on a huge winning streak. It's really cool to watch from the dugout.
Nebraska had won 27 straight until they lost, and they turned around and got beat by Texas. Who beat them? It was Texas that eliminated them, I believe.
Yeah, bad day yesterday for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. You're right about that.
Yeah, and everywhere. So Alabama softball tonight, day action, Tennessee and Texas at 11 a.m. Same situation. If Texas wins, they'll play another, if necessary, game right there in the afternoon in Bama, Texas Tech in prime time in softball. Private equity in college football, the bad part of that, Tennessee's got a personnel problem again, or maybe not, depending on who you're listening to, and recruiting for Alabama and Auburn all straight ahead. On the show today, that's being brought to you by our great friends at Crane U.
Crane U wants to remind you, if you are in the crane industry or if you're looking to get in the crane industry, the first big step is getting certified and becoming fully compliant. Crane U is here to guide you every single step of the way. From first-time operators to seasoned professionals seeking the recertification, their industry-leading training programs built for all experience levels, backed by a team with over 100 years of combined real-world expertise. Crane U delivers the knowledge, hands-on skills, and confidence you need to succeed in the field. Inspections, training, certifications, whatever you need, Crane U's got it handled. It's the one call you make, and you are good. Make sure you tell Nicole, Francis, everyone there at Crane U. Next Round sent you. For more information, craneu.com. That is craneu.com.
And if you are looking for a club home in the Birmingham area, Inverness Country Club is the place to go. ICCalabama.com. The best days happen in Inverness. ICCalabama.com. You want to tour and see everything they've got to offer? Our friend Aaron will hook you right up for that. 205-991-8608. 205-991-8608. Talk to Erin Hilliard. Say you would like to see the Inverness Country Club where the Next Round plays. She'll give you a great tour, and I know you'll love it. You're going to see a great golf course. You're going to see a beautiful clubhouse where the food is tremendous. You're going to see that state-of-the-art tennis facility. They're building it right now, but state-of-the-art when they're finished tennis facility, the great pool, resort style with cabana there at Inverness Country Club, and you're going to meet the people, which is the best part of it, frankly, is the people. So you want a club home, Inverness is the perfect place for you. ICCalabama.com or 205-991-8608. The best days happen at Inverness Country Club.
Take the Next Round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777. Or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical offices, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the Next Round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the Next Round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Forrester's second favorite sport, college golf, doing well as well. Auburn golf, final day of stroke play out in California, Brownie?
That is correct.
22 shot clear of the cut, so Auburn should easily make it to the final 8, and then it's knockout rounds for a college golf national championship. Surprising, Jackson Coivan, 5 shots back of the lead, not the closest guy to the top of the leaderboard for the Auburn team. Josiah Gilbert is only 2 shots back. Alabama's team not in it, but William Jennings, 1 stroke back in the stroke play for a championship today. And then we'll do the team stuff for those 8 teams that make it to the finals starting tomorrow, and that's knockout round, head-to-head, and they'll do quarterfinals and semifinals on one day, Brownie, and then the championship. Did I explain all that correctly?
You did. It is match play Tuesday for the round of 8 and the round of 4. And then the 2 remainders will play on Wednesday. I think that's a 36-hole match on Wednesday. So, yeah, it'll be on Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's fun and a lot of coverage on the Golf Channel.
Mm-hmm.
If you like that, and because
in prime time because it's California,
yeah, you get a little prime time there. So Auburn trying for a golf national championship and still battling for that right there as they play out on the West Coast tonight, and a couple of guys in contention from our state to win the overall individual national championship. To college football we go after we remind you that our friend Alexander Shannara brings you a great part of our show.
He does. Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys, Shannara.com, Shannara.com. That is the place to go when you have any sort of legal situation staring you in the face. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case, and boy, do they win cases. More than $2 billion recovered for their clients. That is $2 billion recovered for their clients at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You may think of them as only handling things like personal injury cases, but they are so much more than that. Fire and storm damage cases, bad drug and device cases, workers' compensation, employment, and the list goes on and on and on. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
Auburn flips a commitment from Alabama. He's a 3-star corner, Nash Johnson, out of Atlanta, 6'1" guy. He's Auburn's 10th commitment, currently 23rd in the On3 Sports Top 25 ranking is Auburn's team rankings with 10 commitments. 3-star cornerback Nash Johnson, one-time Alabama commitment back in December, flips to Auburn. A 4-star commitment for Alabama, Nigel Newkirk, the 6th best running back in the country, becomes Alabama's 7th commitment. The 24th ranked class right now, according to On3 Sports. Nigel picked Alabama over Ohio State, LSU, and Michigan. So he's one of the nation's top 6 running backs who picks Alabama. For those that follow recruiting, I'm told don't expect Alabama's traditional recruiting class to be where it normally is. They're 24th right now because they have, I think the number I was told, 9 seniors on the staff, on the roster in Tuscaloosa. That they don't expect to sign a lot of high school seniors because they are a very young roster. Now that, in the portal world, you'll lose a lot that maybe you're not counting on losing, but you'll bring in some through the portal as well. But for the first time in a long time, I would say maybe don't expect to see Alabama maybe even in the top 10 when it's all said and done because of just the sheer numbers they will not go recruit.
And DeBoer's going to get killed for that. No matter how many people say stuff like that, when Alabama, because they probably have not been out of the top 10 in recruiting since 2006.
Yeah, probably. Probably so.
Yeah, so the minute they see that, people are going to see they can't win on the field. And now the good news is that won't be official until next February. So maybe in December after the first signing day. So they'll at least have a season in the book. So if the season goes well, maybe people will.
Well, the easy excuse is going to be, well, look, they don't have the resources to keep up with some of these other teams in recruiting right now. But I would say this, Tosh LaPoy in year one at Cal is going to have a top 25 recruiting class.
Yeah, you pointed that out.
You tell me how much money does Cal have?
Well, I mean, it only verifies, well, I shouldn't say this. It seems to verify what Steve Sarkisian said about Cal, right? The other half of the Ole Miss basket weaving quote was Sark taking a shot at Cal, too. Like, how do you think Cal gets all these transfers? They've lowered their academic standards, and then all of a sudden Tosh LaPoy gets the job, and out of nowhere Cal's in the top 20.
No, I get that, but do you think any other fan base cares? Like, I don't care how you get them in.
Nope.
Just get them in.
No, but I'm just saying.
So I give him a lot of credit for being as, I don't know, creative to get some of these guys in.
But to your point also, like, recruiting rankings, they don't mean the same they used to mean.
They do not.
Because of the portal.
And you would understand that if you've gone, I think, top 3 the last 2 years, if you're Kalen DeBoer in Alabama.
That hadn't equated to anything.
And that, what do you mean?
No, I'm saying,
as far
like,
as wins on the field?
It's great to have these great recruiting classes, but, I mean, back to, I think, kind of a point you were trying to make, it doesn't mean just because you've got a top 3 class that you're going to win championships.
Right.
And it doesn't mean just because you've got an outside of the top 10 class, you're not going to win championships.
But the top 3 classes the last 2 years means you are very young. If you're holding on to those people, they're not hitting the portal, which means you don't get as big a numbers in this class this year. It's just set up differently with the portal coming, the players coming in and leaving in the portal than it ever was during Nick Saban's time, because you always, juniors and seniors, you always expected about 15 to 20 guys to move on, and you would bring in about 20 guys to replace them, and it sort of churned itself over and over to where the recruiting numbers were about the same every year on the rankings.
The portal is so much more important than signing high school guys, based on the fact that when you sign these guys, you might have some instant impact guys as freshmen, but how many are going to stay? Like, what is your percentage of guys that sign with a Power 4 school that stay there for 4 years or 3 years?
Alabama's percentage, I mean, they lose some, but their percentage is actually pretty good.
Well, I think a big school like Alabama and Ohio State, schools like that, their percentage is going to be high. I think the lower you go in quality of program, your signing class is probably like 20% stay. But if you're high-end programs, those guys don't have a lot of options of places to go if they're good players.
Like the nation's number 1 wide receiver was on campus this past weekend. You obviously would want to sign him now than sign him out of the portal if he goes somewhere else, right? So Darian Morgan, who they had last year, he's going to be an impact player this year. He's expected to be.
Right. Well, and some of these guys, to your point, like once you sign with an Alabama and you produce, Alabama's going to pay you whatever they need to keep you. But, if you are a Mississippi State and you sign one of these guys, you can't keep them.
I'd rather go ahead and sign him while I'm controlling what we're paying rather than in the portal when – he's done something and now the payment's out of control. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but that's all talent evaluation. You got to get that right.
Another one of the points is if you get somebody out of the portal, you've already seen what they can do at this level.
Yeah, that's the other side of it. And that's where a lot of teams – now Texas Tech is doing both, but that's where a lot of teams are like –
Miami's doing a good job of both.
Yeah.
Storm Restoration Roofing, a lot of rain, man. Just try being a groundskeeper at one of these regionals over the weekend in the SEC footprint, delay after delay, pull the tarp out, take the tarp back. Imagine trying to be on a roof, putting a new roof on. Greg had told me that he is so thankful to the Next Round family. He's got so many contracts from you guys over the last few days. He and I were texting yesterday, but he wants to thank you guys for being patient as well. Because of the rain and the lightnings, you can't always get up there and be timely about getting new roofs on and roof repairs. He's been able to make sure everybody's roof is intact, no water leakage and all that, but he is getting to everyone. He appreciates your patience. If you would like to get a free no-cost roof inspection, you can do that. 205-542-3531, stormrestorationroofing.com. He and Andrea own the company. His wife there, locally owned for almost 3 decades now. His son, his daughter, they all work there at the company. It's just a great local business and just top-notch work. And he loves the fact that he listens and watches this show, and he's able to see guys in the chat room and then meet you on your property to help your roof with a great price point as well. He works great with insurance providers as well. Just one happy guy. So thankful for you guys. It's Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531, stormrestorationroofing.com. It was about this time last year, right? When maybe it was a little sooner. It's June now. I mean, it snuck up on me, the football season here. But when did Nico Amelieva leave Tennessee last year?
I mean, it was summer. I think it was June.
Feels like about this time.
Feels like it's about this time. Yeah. Their best portal get, a guy that was supposed to start off the edge, Chaz Coleman. He's a Penn State guy. And Tennessee beat out Ohio State to get Chaz Coleman away from Penn State. Projected to be a starter. Coming with Jim Knowles, who, if you don't remember, is going to be Tennessee's defensive coordinator. Has not been with the team during summer workouts yet. Josh Heupel says that he's still part of the team. He's dealing with some mental and physical things right now away from football. One former Tennessee coach yesterday on Sports Talk Radio in Nashville said that Chaz Coleman and Tennessee has parted ways. Tennessee has answered that since then and says, no, Chaz Coleman is still on the roster. But we'll see, who's in the know there and if Chaz Coleman ends up playing for them. This could be a precursor to what we're about to face in the next few days. When I left work on Friday, there was $100 million or more NIL agreements in college football not cleared yet through the clearinghouse. And Pete Nakos of On3 Sports says that if that doesn't speed up pretty quickly, we're going to see holdouts.
Wow.
Because I'm not getting my money. Until it's cleared, you can't get paid. And apparently some of these contracts are written that if I agree to get Lance Taylor at my school for $4 million, the fine print says $4 million if cleared through the clearinghouse.
Yeah. We all remember Mike Sluka at UNLV, right?
The quarterback, yeah.
He was like, hey, where's my money?
Yeah.
Like, you guys agreed to this, and you didn't give me anything. And, that was a very odd situation. I don't think we've seen anything like that, in the past or since that moment. But moving forward, I mean, this is the natural progression, right?
I mean, it is.
I mean, sadly.
I can't believe we could get to this point where there are holdouts. I'm interested that the fine print is in these contracts because I think we talked about
some of them.
Some of them, yeah. Yeah. It's going to probably be key which ones they're in and which ones they're not.
Well, and this is why you got to watch who represents you.
Right.
Like, you can't have your best friend representing you.
No, you don't need a family member representing. You need to go get good quality representation. But you and I and Jim, too, have talked about, like, if the CSC, if the clearinghouse hasn't cleared it, I'm just going to go and play the kid. What's my penalty, But, I mean, if it's written in the contract that the money is based on being cleared by the CSC, then the school does have recourse not to pay it. And I think
probably important to go ahead and pay it anyway, though.
It is, but if our agents well, right, and how they've operated. If our agents back in the day it said, you're paid this if Cumulus does this, wouldn't our agents tell us, boys, we're not going to work until we know Cumulus does this? I mean, that's what they would tell us, right? So I think a good agent would tell a player, listen, I know you love state football team, fill-in football team here. I know you love their coach, but it says in this contract they don't have to pay you until this happens. You're not playing one snap of practice until this happens.
And I mean, that's
why you have a good representation.
Sad, but not shocking.
Yeah. I mean, once you got money involved like this, holdouts would eventually happen.
Yeah, and when we get to a 2014 playoff, if we get there, we've talked about it, there will be some starters that will sit a final week of a regular season game.
Yeah, and there will be a bold prediction either on our show are in one of these national publications and websites at some point this year. One of the bold predictions will be there will be a game that will be forfeited, delayed, or something because of a mass player walkout, holdout. That day will come someday.
I mean, it probably will. It's sad to say. Can you imagine if you get to, like, that's the topic on game day? We don't know in Waco whether or not Baylor is going to field a team today.
You think that'll happen in the playoffs or just in the low-tier bowl game?
No, I'm talking about
a regular season.
A regular season game.
Yeah.
I could see it.
A regular season game.
Baylor's not going to play Abilene Christian today because the Baylor NIL payments haven't been on time. We're just using that as an
I love
example.
that Baylor just got tossed into
I don't know why.
Well, I didn't want to do Mississippi State again.
Yeah.
Mississippi State's always our default.
I know. Well, sometimes I say good old State, just trying to do a generic school, and everybody thinks Mississippi State when you say that, so I don't mean that about them. Wow, that would be wild if it happened in any game, much less a postseason game. I mean, I can't imagine the outcry of that. You remember the outcry for Christian McCaffrey skipping the Sun Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
The Sun Bowl, not a college football playoff game, not even a bowl game that's on ESPN. This was on CBS.
Yeah,
so
and now it's almost predictable who's not going to play. Yeah. The majority of these guys aren't playing in those bowls.
Oh, you just, when it starts, so-and-so's going to that bowl. Well, this guy's not going to play. This guy's not going to play. This guy's not going to play.
And this was the Sun Bowl, and it was like the end of amateur athletics, the fact that Christian McCaffrey sat it out. So I can't imagine.
And in hindsight, it may have been.
I mean, it started us that way, but I can't imagine the outcry if it were an actual game that mattered.
Jimmy V Classic, usually early December. We get word who's going to play. Is John Rothstein reporting this first from CBS. Duke and Georgia at Madison Square Garden. And Alabama and Houston in the Jimmy V Classic this year. I don't think Alabama's ever played the Jimmy V Classic.
Boy, it just seems like Houston loves to play Alabama.
I was
and
about to say, yeah.
Alabama has beaten them in 3 straight games, so I would imagine Sampson's trying to get one more win get a win against Nate Oates. He's never beaten him.
Yeah,
just needs one before he retires.
Pretty crazy when you think about it, because Sampson is considered by all one of the top 5 active coaches.
The Jimmy V Classic, God, I hate to do this to the Jimmy V Classic because it's got so much meaning otherwise. Is that the one where they do the playoff unveil between the games?
It does seem like
I ask this every time we talk about it. I never know. So, I mean, but that shows you the significance of that event, that it is on ESPN, and it does get a pretty good audience because there are a lot of non-basketball fans that are tuning in waiting for the first game to end so they can see the football rankings.
It does say it's usually early December, so would that be?
Oh, then no, it's not.
That would be before the championship weekend, so it's the next to last one. Maybe.
Yeah, I thought the Jimmy V was always in November.
I did too. It's an earlier event then. Maybe it's the Champions Classic or something like that. So I don't know, but the Jimmy V Classic's a big deal, and that shows you. I'm a little surprised at Georgia, to be honest with you, but it shows you where Alabama basketball has gotten that you would even be considered for that event.
Yeah, Alabama, Houston, Duke, and Georgia. Back at Madison Square Garden for the Tide coming up this year. Another great schedule put together from Nate Oates and company over there. Michelson brings you the viewing menu today. Tell us about Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, if you've thought about LASIK and you wear the contacts or the glasses, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. Wore the contacts for about a decade. Finally, in 2003, got the procedure done. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. Still have 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round, Cynthia. She is going to hook you up with that hassle-free consultation. You have nothing to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Thought I'd see you yesterday. I went to a movie.
Oh, really?
At your hometown theater, yeah.
What'd you see?
Michael.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my Hallie wanted to see it, so Jennifer and I took Hallie to see it. Good movie, entertaining movie. You forget, and this is a compliment to him because I don't guess Tito's son, Jermaine, is it Jermaine or Tito's son? Do you know?
I think it's Jermaine's son.
I don't know if Jermaine's son had ever acted, and I don't know that it was tremendous acting, but the dancing scenes, you forget you're watching an actor. Like, you feel like you're watching Michael Jackson. It's crazy how good he is in those scenes.
So he's that good of a dancer.
Oh, I mean, it's Michael Jackson. Was Michael Jackson a good dancer?
Yeah.
So it looks just like Michael Jackson dancing. It's insane. Like you you forget you're watching an actor. You really do.
So they don't get into any of the things that would not have been age appropriate?
Not at all. Now, at the end.
They don't get into anything that wouldn't be pro Michael Jackson is a spectacular artist.
Yeah, now they paint him out, though. I mean, like he's 21 years old watching cartoons and reading Peter Pan. So they show that he was a different bird, you know. But they do tease at the end. The story continues. So I guess there is a second part where they may get into that. But as of now, I mean, there's some foul language. But, you know, if you don't mind that, nothing that is not age appropriate. The kids, I think, would enjoy it. The guy that plays Joe Jackson was spectacular.
Yeah, that's Coleman Domingo.
Yeah.
He's a great actor.
Ali in Euphoria. Jim.
Okay.
So
Ali in Euphoria. He's great as Joe Jackson. He plays a great role.
I came across an article last week, and it said Euphoria is one of the worst seasons in television history, and then it went on to say it is the worst HBO one season ever.
Wow.
Is that fair?
It's getting ripped apart. It's pretty bad. As far as just
now, Dunaway, you said it was going to win awards.
The cinematography of the first, what do you call before the logo comes up? And these have been long. They've been about 5 minutes.
Oh, I guess it would be a cold open.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the first 5 minutes of every episode has been almost a movie in itself. A little short 5-minute clip with unbelievable scenery and imagery. It's been really, really good. I have not watched the finale yet. I did catch Off Campus's finale last night. And then Toy Story 5's coming out, and Taylor Swift's involved. Is that what I'm seeing?
I haven't heard anything about Swift being involved, but Toy Story 5 comes out towards the end of this month, I believe.
Yeah, I think all of her fans are there are 13 Clouds, and TS is Toy Story, but it's also Taylor Swift and
so they're dropping hints and stuff like that. Yeah,
what's it called? Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. Yeah,
that she's famous for. She's doing a bunch of that stuff on her socials that could hint that somehow she's involved in Toy Story 5.
Taylor Swift fans have way more time on their hands than I will ever
to
have.
find Easter eggs. They like to hunt every season.
I mean, they go full 4chan conspiracy theorists.
Apparently, there's going to be 13 billboards worldwide promoting Toy Story 5 that she's paid for, and they're in 13 different cities worldwide, and 7 of them are up now. And
wait, why would she pay for them though?
Yeah, I'm confused on that too.
Yeah. Because she's
part of the conspiracy,
she's
man.
part of Toy Story 5. I don't know. I don't know what part she'll be. Will she have music in it? Will it be
voice a character?
Yeah, will she voice a character?
I don't know.
Yeah. If she is, they haven't.
Are all the
showed her
voices
in the
still
trailer.
alive? Or
I mean, Tim Allen, Tom Hanks.
So Slinky Dog got replaced in Toy Story 3.
Well, I think
because he
he's
was
dead
voiced
anyway.
That was
by,
Jim Varney.
Jim Varney.
Yeah, he passed.
Yeah. And then the guy that was the mailman,
John Ratzenberger,
I
he's
think
alive.
I thought he was dead.
Oh, did he pass? I didn't know
Massive
that.
heart attack, Brown. I really don't know.
When did the first Toy Story come out?
Oh my gosh, forever.
95.
Yeah.
Which one was the one where the kid goes to college? Was that 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
He
I've
was for
never
college in
seen
3.
4.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 were really good.
Also, John Ratzenberger's still with us. Apologies to the Ratzenberger family.
Yeah.
Lives in Bridgeport.
There you go. Yep.
Just down the road.
Hey, so on your radar Cape Fear anywhere? The new Netflix series coming out based on the movie?
Comes out Friday.
Yeah.
So I'll
But
talk.
are you
going
gonna
to
watch that?
Friday. I'll have to get Apple TV for it.
Okay.
But I'll see if I can find a free trial or something. But today we've got a screen unseen at AMC. It is most likely going to be The Furious, which has been described as like The Raid, almost. Just a hard action movie based in Hong Kong. Over the weekend, I got to see The Backrooms, which is a movie I was looking forward to a lot. I'll get more in depth with it on today's next reel, where we'll be going over our top 5 directorial debuts. Because this film was directed by a 20-year-old named Kane Parsons. It's the youngest film director in A24 history, and also the youngest filmmaker ever to top the U.S. box office, because it opened at number 1.
That's pretty impressive.
Yep. Backrooms was number 1 this weekend, and then Obsession, which is made by a filmmaker from Mobile, so go see that. Number 2 this weekend actually had an increase week over week, which is pretty much unheard of for a horror movie. And then Star Wars ended up being number 3 at the box office. So definitely go out to the theaters because there is original content being made every day. And The Backrooms follows a therapist played by Renata Reinzev. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, but she was in Sentimental Value. And she ventures into a surreal, infinite, alternate dimension of yellow paper, wallpapered rooms to rescue her patient Clark. Clark manages a furniture store, and he disappeared into the labyrinthian realm after discovering a strange doorway in the basement of his furniture store. He's played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Mark Duplass from Creep also plays a role. And then I also might see Pressure today. This is the tense 72 hours before D-Day, where General Eisenhower has to make an impossible choice. Do you launch the most dangerous seaborne invasion in history or risk losing the war altogether? And it stars Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, I've seen the previews for that. That looks interesting. I love World War II movies, so I may grab that one too.
Yeah, that one looks like it'll kind of be a mix between a World War II movie and like a courtroom drama almost.
Yeah, it seems like that. Yeah, I agree.
So it seems right up my alley.
Yep.
And that's all I got today.
That's what Tyler's watching. Brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. 100 days till the start of the NFL season. 89 days for college football. We'll get to more football, including the NFL, coming up. Lance Cormier with us to start hour number 3 at 11 Central to get us back to baseball, specifically Auburn trying to punch their ticket like Alabama has already to the Super Regionals, the final 16 of college baseball. The show today being brought to you by Lance's Lock. Lance'sLock.com. We start Wednesday night with the NBA Finals.
Coming off another winning day yesterday, 4-2, all Major League Baseball. We will have nothing but Major League Baseball up and available for you today as well. Before we get into the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals, we're, by the way, 4-1 in our ice picks. Jump on board and win with us. Killing baseball right now. Free play every single day at Lance'sLock.com. That is Lance'sLock.com. Brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience any plumbing, heating, cooling issues, home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777. Or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. from day one, Xerox Business Solutions. They've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 of the show as we rock on now on a Monday, now in the month of June. Does that surprise anybody? We're to the month of June already?
Pretty crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Almost halfway home, Jimmy.
Flies by. Our Innisfree countdown to kickoff is at 89 days for week 0 of college football. Your game day tradition is Innisfree Irish Pub in Tuscaloosa and Lakeview. Irish-inspired pub food, the signature Irish gold sauce, and always the world-class atmosphere at Innisfree. Our Innisfree countdown to kickoff, 89 days away for college football, 100 for the NFL. NFL talk in a little bit. Pete Golding is the subject of a Chris Lowe story this weekend. Chris has been out making the tour with all the college football coaches, and he caught up recently with Pete Golding. Here's the quote that's making the rounds this morning to promote the story behind the paywall on 3 Sports. Pete Golding to Lane Kiffin on how Lane for several years was on the top of a couple of schools' lists to leave. That's not why I came here. This had been going on for 2 years, whether Lane was going to leave. Even the Florida talk the year before, I was like, hey, bro, I love you, but don't get it twisted. I didn't come here for you, end quote. Now, you remember Pete left Alabama for personal reasons to be closer to his wife and his family there in Oxford. I think that's where Pete's wife's from, that part of Mississippi. And it was more of a family decision to go there. And Lane just happened to have a relationship with Pete, and Pete was able to go there. But no indication he ever wanted to leave Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. Don't get it wrong, bro. I didn't come here for you. I love that quote from Pete Golding.
Yeah, I've been told that Pete has told people. Now, Pete has not said this to me. We've had very limited interactions with Pete Golding. They've always been pleasant, but limited. But that Pete had already told people that Ole Miss had assured him, when Lane leaves, you're the guy we want. Like, it's always going to look like he only got that job because they were backed up against a college football playoff wall and had to have somebody lead the team.
But you're saying there was a long-term plan in place.
That's right. That they knew, people at Ole Miss knew that Lane had a wandering eye and that Lane was likely going to leave one day. And some of the power people at Ole Miss had assured Pete, you're our first choice when Lane leaves.
Now, I wonder, though, the timing. I wonder if they would have had a search. I'm not saying that's not 100% the case.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pete had been told that. But to your point, let's say for whatever reason, Lane missed the playoffs but still got the LSU job. Do you at least look across America and say, we love what we got right here with Pete and we're not in danger of losing him, but Who else could we possibly get? You never know who might be interested in your job.
I mean, let's just say if John Summerall, if you heard that Summerall was interested in that job, they would have taken Summerall over Pete Golding.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so.
And again, no shot to Pete. Now, I'm a little surprised Pete says that about Lane because say what you want, and look, there's no way he's going to leave to be a defensive coordinator when you can be a head coach in the SEC and stay. But Lane did give him the opportunity to come to Ole Miss, right?
He did.
I mean, that seems like
but he wasn't hurting. He wasn't going to lose his job in Tuscaloosa, right? He left Alabama to go to Ole Miss.
He did.
Right?
He did do that. Yeah, he left Alabama to go to Ole Miss.
It wasn't like he was fired, and like Kiffin got helped out by Nick Saban. Starr got helped out by Nick Saban.
But Pete, at the same time, might have got sick. I can't remember a coordinator that has been more criticized under Saban than Pete Golding. I mean, you guys help me out.
Long term, no. I mean, I was short term. Tommy Reese, Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien, and at the same time as Pete Golding.
That's true. Yeah,
Alabama fans hated the coordinator.
The only thing that shielded Pete from criticism was the fact that Bill O'Brien was the offensive coordinator. But to your point, Pete was there a long time and got criticism.
Yeah.
Like Bill O'Brien was there 2 years. Tommy Reese was there 1 year. Pete was there long term. And by the way, nobody stood beside him more than Nick Saban. Can you remember a time where Saban came out and just hammered Pete Golding? Nick Saban loved Pete Golding. I'm like, he handpicked him at a UTSA when Golding was a defensive coordinator at UTSA, and Saban didn't even have a defensive coordinator spot, but he was like, this guy I think is a rising star. I want him on my staff.
And Nick Saban, a defensive coach, so he usually knows pretty good defensive football.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably pretty wise in that neighborhood.
Which was always my argument when people would complain about Pete Golding as a defensive coordinator. I was like, your head coach is the pseudo-defensive coordinator. He's in on every meeting. And
he likes him.
Knows defense pretty good.
He likes him and probably has helped this game plan a little bit.
Not going to keep a bad defensive mind around. So, interesting if you want to go read the whole thing on 3 Sports there with Chris Lowe on Pete Golding as that story continues. Speaking of a story continuing, when we left the air on Friday, that was about the time Cody Campbell was popping up on the McAfee show. He's the billionaire at Texas Tech. Remember, we had discussed on Friday during the day about Texas won't do it, but they need to call the bluff of Texas Tech and say, okay, buy out our game. We'll play you week 1 at AT&T Stadium or whatever, and let Cody Campbell pay for it. Cody Campbell said he would pay for it on the McAfee show and says, but it's not going to happen, guys, because you guys know Bevo. I'll just tell you this. You can research what it means, but there are more steers than bulls down in Austin. That's Cody Campbell's quote. More steers than bulls.
I mean, he is going to poke this game.
And he was doing, as we called the car wash, because I was talking to our buddy Ian yesterday, Ian Fitzsimmons, and he was on with Ian for 30 minutes on Friday night.
I mean, so they are just trying. It's an all-out blitz right now out of them.
I mean, why would you not? I mean, it's just extra pub for Texas Tech. It's calling out Texas after Texas called you out. And, back to your point, I mean, Cody Campbell said it multiple times, like, it's never going to happen, but we'd love for it to happen.
For those that don't know, according to Cody anyway, Bevo loses his game balls before he becomes a mascot on the sideline, so he is a steer and not a bull anymore.
I did not know that was the difference between steer and bull. Did you know that?
I think I knew that.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
You knew a steer is a bull with no balls.
I mean, I'd heard it. I mean, it's not something that
castrated
would be
bull.
top of mind, but yeah.
Yeah. Jackie Sherrill obviously knew it. He was familiar with
allegedly performed it.
Castrations, allegedly.
Yeah. I doubt he cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah, he might have.
Maybe he did.
Jackie was old school.
Probably not the nastiest thing Jackie touched.
Our show being brought to you today by our friends at Johnston RV Center. Tell us about Johnston RV, Brad.
As we enter June, Johnston RV Center has got the RVs you need to go see America. Shout out to Brandon up in Tennessee. He's a big fan of the fifth wheels and was reaching out to some people down here about the fifth wheels that Johnston RV Center has. He's a big fan of those. They got them. They're huge throughout America, the fifth wheels are, and they've got plenty in stock right now. But if the fifth wheel is not what you're looking for, they've got more than 300 additional RVs there at Johnston RV Center. You can see it all online, johnstonrvcenter.com. That is johnstonrvcenter.com. Or visit them in person, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Everything they sell there that is new or qualifying pre-owned is covered lifetime by RV Warranty forever. So they stand by their product as well at Johnston RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
Ari Wasserman, part of the podcast with Andy Staples at On 3, basically says he's tired of hearing this kind of talk from the SEC. Here's Greg Sankey last week at the SEC meetings in Destin talking about the SEC and it being the most competitive conference in college football.
If you look at the entirety of our league, we are by far the most competitive, the strongest football league, by far. But you're going to lose games when it's close and competitive like that. So why have they surpassed us? It's an oddball. It's bounced a couple times the wrong way. Indiana was pretty dominant in the Rose Bowl last year. A lot of other games you look pretty close margin, and we've been the beneficiary on those. And I don't think that, hey, if we win, you don't ask me the question. It's like when Florida was down 14 to Houston in the second half in the national championship game in San Antonio. If you look at me, I've got my head in my hands because I know the first question is going to be, you had this like great basketball season, and is it really now a disappointment because you didn't win the national championship? Like I'm sure that's the first question. You know, the first question I got after that game, hey, when Florida was down, if they hadn't won, would the season have been a disappointment? But those are about the margins. And you know what I said? I said, the beauty is I don't have to answer that question because they won. But in a competitive environment, the margins are going to be thin, and we've come up on the short end. And I can assure you that everyone in this league is trying to figure out how to come up on the top end of that in the future.
Greg Sankey last week, Ari Wasserman writes, is anyone else tired of hearing it? I am. Enough with the declarative statements. This is sports. Games are nationally televised. Results are cataloged. There are winners and losers. If the SEC is the best, it's time to prove it again. No more free rides on past success.
Yeah, I don't think Sankey believes the SEC is the best right now. He can't.
He said by far, too. There's no way he believes it's by far the most competitive.
I mean, look, we originate out of the home office of the SEC, and we all agree right now the Big Ten is tops in football.
It is tops in football. Most competitive by far obviously is quite subjective. I mean, what are we measuring here? How do you measure which league is most competitive? I mean, is he
talking about, when one is playing 16?
Was he saying, let's take...
I'm almost like the Big 12 is the most unpredictable league, is it not?
Is it not the most competitive because it's the most unpredictable?
Brett Yormark, as the Big 12 meetings were wrapping up, said we're the most competitive league in college football.
I think they probably are. Now, the Texas Tech is going to kind of spin that argument off a little bit because they finally stepped to the table and they have this massive roster they're paying for, and they go to the college football playoff. If they start winning it year in, year out, then that argument's going to be dead.
But, I mean, I guess the argument, all right, is the most competitive argument the fact that Georgia going to Mississippi State is way tougher than Indiana going to Purdue. I mean, we literally saw, was that Indiana-Purdue game in West Lafayette this year? I think it was. It was like
56-3.
1,000,000 to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing criteria like that, for sure. Like the SEC fan bases and stadiums and home field, that is by far the best.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that it is more difficult for Georgia to go to Mississippi State. Again, State, we're not picking on you, but you finished last. Or I guess really Arkansas did, didn't they?
Yeah. I would almost say Arkansas, Mississippi State interchangeable. Right?
Okay, well, probably. Yeah. And look, and I think the deepest league is probably the Big 12.
Probably.
I mean, so you can pick your criteria, but right now, elite teams reside in the Big Ten.
But when you say deepest league is the Big 12, you mean the
like,
separation from their top to their bottom.
Yeah,
that's the way I would.
Let me give you right now.
That's the way I would say what is the most competitive. Well, you tell me from best to worst.
Using that argument, I would say the Sun Belt is.
Well, and you may.
Yeah, I'm just talking about Power 4.
Yeah.
I mean, Oklahoma State and Colorado were in the bottom by far in the Big 12, and
Oklahoma State was pretty bad.
I think that's going to flip back around, and I don't know if you're going to have any terrible teams in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah. The perception of the Big 12 being good top to bottom is helped by the fact that Arizona State was picked that year to finish dead last and ended up almost winning a playoff game. That helps your league perception when you're picked to be really bad and you win your league, there's like, man, this league must be really good.
You're right about that. But I would also say, like, there's a lot of data you have to include to say who's the most competitive league, and part of that is how does your league perform outside your league? Like, what does it matter that your league is competitive if everybody in your league is bad, but they're all about the same level of bad? That's competitive, but it doesn't matter. But if the SEC is the most competitive league by far, as Greg Sankey says, and they showed it outside of conference, you'd say that matters. But they didn't. Like, he brought it up in the Rose Bowl where you had your second best team in the SEC. I'm not saying Alabama. I'm saying they finished second best in the standings. They were in the SEC championship game, and they completely get run off the field by Indiana. How do I say that the SEC is the most competitive league when your second best team got run out of the stadium by Indiana? That's a hard argument for me to make.
Do you agree, though, it's time to shut up and win?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, and it'd be even worse. And I know this is part of what Sankey is saying, is like these are close margin games. They could go either way. One that went the SEC's way was Ohio State missing that field goal as the ball dropped. Think about where we are in this world if Ohio State doesn't miss this field goal.
This is back against Georgia a few years ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
If Ohio State doesn't miss this field goal, where are we? Because they go on and win the national championship. Ohio State does. And now you would have had.
Remind me, though. Okay, so was that the year that they played TCU?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Ohio State wins, they destroy TCU. So you would now have Ohio State, Michigan, assuming it all went the same, Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana.
And even more incredible, you would have 4 consecutive national championship games with no SEC participants.
That's right. I mean, so if we want to start talking about these close margin games, one that certainly benefited the SEC in this argument was that Georgia-Ohio State game, because if one of two things happen, if Ryan Day doesn't inexplicably get conservative there, or if the kicker just makes the kick, this is a totally different conversation, because to your point, you got 4 straight Big Ten champs and no SEC representation in 4 straight games. Then I don't even know if you could, with a straight face, stand there and say what Greg Sankey said. I'm not sure you can right now, but if you've got 4 straight years where you don't even play for a championship and the Big Ten's won 4 in a row, I don't see how you make that argument.
4 Downs brought to you every day by our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt. Great folks there, Brownie, that give us an opportunity to think about I got 2 kids that are about to start driving the next 3 years. How are we going to juggle all the cars around the driveway? How about a parking pad?
Parking pad is a great idea. In fact, I was talking to a friend just yesterday at lunch that wants a parking pad at his house. The first thing I said, Central Alabama Asphalt and Supply, they can do those types of things. Now, when you're riding around Alabama and you see the big road work projects, the major state, federal government, municipal roadway projects, there's a good chance you're seeing Central Alabama Asphalt and Supply do those jobs. Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction do those jobs. And that might tell you they don't have time for your parking pad or your driveway or the parking lot for a church or a community center or something like that. And that is where you are incorrect, because they've got an entire division dedicated to just those jobs. Same crews, same quality, same no excuse standards, no matter the size of the job. For highways to neighborhoods, Central Alabama Asphalt, client-oriented, quality-focused, built to deliver. You can get an estimate on any job, big or small, by calling 205-349-0901, 205-349-0901, or centralalabamaasphalt.com.
First down.
Nikki Glazer, 42. Amy Schumer, 45. Ultimately better career. Nikki Glazer, Amy Schumer.
Nikki Glazer. She's got white hot heat right now. I don't know if Schumer had a little bit of an acting career, but I'm going to go Nikki Glazer.
Nikki Glazer hasn't had the joke thief accusations that Amy Schumer
Oh, Schumer got tagged. Tagged with that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And Glazer, I think these celebrity roasts have benefited her tremendously.
She's been great.
She's been good in them, and she has shown a good nature at laughing off some very pointed jokes towards her in those things.
Yeah, I think to this point, outside of the alleged stealing of the jokes, I think it's been Schumer, but it seems like Glazer does have a lot more momentum right now. I think it's really close, but I probably would lean ultimately Nikki Glazer.
Second down.
Alanis Morissette, 52 today. Tom Holland, 30. Ultimately better career, Tom Holland or Alanis Morissette?
For those that don't know, Tom Holland is Spider-Man?
Yes.
Because I always, who I could frequently confuse him with is Tom Hardy. Totally different actor.
Yes.
Well, when I hear Tom Holland, I think Tom Hardy.
I get it. Yeah. But Tom Holland, perfectly cast is Spider-Man. Like a great Spider-Man.
Great Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to that movie. It's one of my most anticipated movies of the year. That being said, his career won't continue much more after Marvel because he has talked about retiring already.
Yeah, he's made so much money.
Well, you know, the weird thing is Alanis Morissette, after that one album, I forgot what the album was, she pretty much shut it down. Now she's going back on tour.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you talk about one album that somebody has lived on and made millions and millions of dollars.
I thought it was 2 or 3 albums, but that period of time.
Jagged Little Pill, I think it was, right?
It is the best one, right?
Imagine how the Full House guy feels right now. Because that album was about him.
Oh, wow. Was it really?
You Ought to Know was about
You Ought to Know?
Dave Coulier.
Yep.
Wow.
But her initial drummer was the guy that ended up, who passed away, that was part of the great band, the blonde-haired guy, the great
Kurt
drummer.
Cobain? Nirvana?
What was the great drummer that passed away 2 years ago?
Oh, Taylor Hawkins.
Taylor Hawkins. That was her first drummer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He started with...
She was on Jagged Little Pill. That was her drummer for the tour.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I may go Alanis Morissette.
No, I'm going Tom Holland when it's
Okay.
all said and done, but I'm a big Alanis Morissette fan. That 90s music was fantastic.
Yeah, I am going to go Tom Holland as well, because I do think if he wants to continue, I mean, he is an A-list guy right now.
Yeah, he could continue if he wants, but I think him and Zendaya both have talked publicly about just like them getting a house and then just living in private once they've got
Good
enough
for them.
money.
Third down.
Morgan Freeman, 89 years old today.
Better go strong here.
Yeah.
Ultimately better career. Morgan Freeman, or I'll give you the combination of one of two. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman has won an Academy Award, which would be the equivalent of a Super Bowl for one of those guys.
Well, I mean, Academy Award MVP.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, Lamar's got multiple MVPs. Josh has got one. Now, again, quarterbacks are going to be judged on what they do in the postseason.
Yeah, I think as of right now, the one thing that would stand out for Allen and Jackson is they haven't won a championship. That's what you would. A great quarterback, but you can't say that about Morgan Freeman. Has he been in some bad movies? Certainly he has, but Morgan Freeman's...
He's done everything, and I think he's one of the most likable guys out there, too.
Yeah, I'll go
He's
Morgan
played
Freeman.
the president. He's played God.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done basically everything.
He's played a prisoner in Shawshank.
And he's been 90 years old for 90 years.
I know.
He might be the only actor you can think of that can play God and not get any controversy.
That's true. Yeah.
Everybody's just like, yeah, that works.
Yeah. I mean, really, anything he does, it works.
Yeah, pretty easy Morgan Freeman. I would agree with the panel here on that one.
Fourth down.
Hey, this is pretty crazy. Andy Griffith would have been 100 today. Marilyn Monroe also would have been 100.
Wow.
Bigger icon.
Nationally and internationally, it's Marilyn Monroe.
I will just say Andy Griffith's work continues to live, and hers does not. I don't. What do you see with her?
Well, I mean, like pinups, and I mean, there is something nostalgic about her.
I would imagine, though, outside of the southern footprint, if you went to today on Rodeo Drive and you asked somebody who is Andy Griffin,
yeah, they probably
who
don't
is
know.
Marilyn Monroe,
Yeah, they probably know. Yeah, but if you stick in rural America, it's probably the opposite.
Yeah, I think for Andy, and again, I know you really like the show. It just was nothing I ever watched, but I think now it was probably a regional show back then, right? Like there was probably a national audience, but not nearly as big as it is here. But I think if you redid it to some degree, I think you would capture bigger piece of the pie now.
I don't know. I think it was a pretty big hit back then.
I mean, there was nothing
CBS.
on TV.
It was on CBS.
I think it was on CBS,
yeah.
and you had like 5 shows on TV. That was it.
There was something, for the big cities to see a simpler life back then.
Yeah.
And the way they perceived the South to be, and I mean, just think of the shows that were on back then. There was Beverly Hillbillies was on during about that period of time.
Gilligan's Island.
Andy Griffith was a spinoff of the Danny Thomas Show, so I guess the Danny Thomas Show was on then. I guess that was a variety show, right?
I always thought Marilyn Monroe
a scripted show.
Scripted.
Very overrated.
Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah, I mean,
she's more known because she
pudgy. I mean, they call her voluptuous, but
she's more known because she had
affairs all over the place,
and presumably one with the President of the United States, some say. So, I mean, that's what she's known for.
I think that's proven.
JFK built tunnels so she could come
see
see him.
Reportedly, yes.
I'm
sure they have multiple uses.
Feel good about confirming that one.
I don't think it was only for her. I think they have multiple uses.
Might have just been for her.
We got to get out in case there's an attack too. So let's just go ahead and build the tunnel in case. Yeah, I'll go
I think
Andy
he was
Griffith.
trying to stay in.
I think I would probably go Marilyn Monroe.
Me too. Especially if you're at the base of the Eiffel Tower today, and you ask anybody, Marilyn Monroe or Andy Griffith.
Well, of course they're going to say Marilyn Monroe.
It's going to be Marilyn Monroe.
Or are they talking Russian?
That is 4 Downs today, brought to you by Central Alabama Asphalt. The show today also being brought to you by the great folks at Odie's.
Odie's Tavern, great place to go for lunch or dinner as you get ready for the Stanley Cup Finals, the NBA Finals. Great place to watch it is Odie's Tavern. 2 locations, the original Crestline, newest location right there in Edgewood on Broadway and Homewood. Fantastic food from Rodney Davis. Been doing it 4 decades now. The award-winning wings, delicious burgers, fantastic sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light, live music every Friday and Saturday night. Get in and see Will Haver and that great staff. Birmingham Institution is Odie's Tavern.
Speaking of the NBA, championship series start Wednesday in San Antonio. Knicks and Spurs. That Game 7, Spurs eliminated. They vanquished the Thunder, the defending champions. So, again, we'll have a new NBA champion this year. No dynasties anymore.
That was a fantastic Game 7. I don't know how much I watched the entire fourth quarter, and when I knew it was going to be a great finish was, first of all, it's Tirico, so he's just so good doing that. But Oak City used their last timeout with like 4:20-ish to go, and I'm like, if Oak City doesn't have any timeouts, we're going to get some continuous play here, and we got a lot of that down the stretch.
They were rattled the entire game, and
they were.
They played about as bad as they could play at home. This is fascinating because you look at where Wemby is right now in his career, and they're favored -200 over the Knicks. If he wins a championship here, I think it's going to be fun either way because if Wemby wins a championship, it has become his league, although SGA won a championship last year and just won back-to-back MVPs. But it's going to become his league. And on the other side, if the Knicks win this, it's going to be a lot to do with Jalen Brunson. And you got this argument that continues, a guy that is basically 6'1", maybe 6'2", cannot be the alpha and carry his team to a championship. So I think there's a lot of fun storylines in this. It should be a fun final.
So do you think it was really SGA's league? Was he the face of the league for a year? Because that's the big talking point today on the 3 TVs on the floor here.
Jokic, there's so many good players. Luka's a great player. There's nobody that has the skill set that's 7'4.5" that plays like Wemby.
Well, to put it in perspective, ComExec63 asked this question in the chat earlier in the show, and I was going to save it for when we got to this. He says, real question. If you take Wemby and put him on the worst Power 4 team in college basketball, do they win the national championship?
Yes.
No questions asked. I think so, too.
Yeah.
I don't know who the worst Power 4 team was this past season, but in the SEC, it was South Carolina. You put Wemby on South Carolina, I think
it is weird, though,
win a national
because
championship.
I go back, you look at guys like Anthony Edwards, when Ant played at Georgia, one and done, they didn't make the tournament. Ben Simmons was so good at LSU, they didn't make the tournament.
Durant at Texas, they were one and done in the tournament.
You look at the impact Dylan Harper's had as a rookie for San Antonio.
I thought about this.
Well, you go back last year, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey in the backcourt for Rutgers.
They don't even make the tournament.
Didn't make the tournament.
Yeah.
So, it is weird, but I think with Wemby, if you're just going through Wemby nonstop, it would be very, very difficult for him not to go 40 and 20 every night.
I saw you grimace at the question, Jim, but 7'4" with his ability to shoot and
it was
handle.
more of a Nick Saban hypothetical grimace than it was an answer to your question.
Yeah.
I love
hypothetical.
Are you starting to
He's
not
anti-hypothetical
like
because Nick Saban was.
It's impossible to give me an answer. I don't know. It's like Morgan Freeman. That's a hard call. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are really good too. So is Morgan Freeman. Those are impossible decisions to make.
I just think it goes to the unicorn that Wemby is. I wouldn't say the same thing about Jalen Brunson. I don't think you could put Jalen Brunson on any Power 4 team, as great as he is, and he's a great player, and automatically win the national championship. But Wemby is just different. There's not been many like him.
And Shaquille was different. Ran the floor, was really good.
I think prime Shaquille, you could have probably done the same thing.
But didn't sniff a championship at LSU.
They were an Elite 8, weren't they? Sweet 16. It seemed like
you got to win 2 more games.
I know.
So you're 3 games short.
I get it. A lot of that was Dale Brown. But, man, if Wemby wins one at 22 here, which they probably will, how many does he ultimately get? Back to SGA, some of these are one-offs. Jokic probably never going to get another one. Dirk got one. Some of these great players only get one, and I think that's great for their legacy. But Wemby just seems like one of these guys, much like a Tim Duncan and David Robinson, that are going to win 3, 4, maybe even 5 championships.
Happen to be all Spurs that you just named right there. NBA Finals prices, we told you the ones at Madison Square Garden in San Antonio. Get in the door prices. Game 1, $2,015. Game 2, $2,430 just to get in. Game 3 at the Knicks, we told you $4,000. Game 4 at the Knicks, $3,000. Game 5 at the Spurs, $3,070. Game 6 at the Knicks, $5,244. Then Game 7 with the Spurs, right at $4,000. Those are all just get-in prices. So in San Antonio, when you go how much more expensive things are in New York to San Antonio, technically the pricing is about the same on the get-in prices in San Antonio and New York.
You could make an argument that is maybe the best fan base in all of the NBA is San Antonio, and they haven't played in the NBA Finals since 2014. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I know we talked a little bit last week on the lack of NBA we watch, but this couldn't have gone much better for the NBA. Like, I can't remember a Finals that is being as hyped as this in a while.
Well, the Knicks being in it.
And I think Wemby
massive.
too, though.
I think so. I would agree with that. But I think there's a fascination with the Knicks being in this thing. First time they've had a chance to win since the 90s.
Yeah.
And
then your most talked about young international player. It's almost like it's scripted.
That you will believe, but you won't.
No, I'm not saying that, but it is almost like you couldn't have written a better script.
You couldn't. You're right.
It would be crazy if Wemby ends up being an alien. With all the alien talk going on right now,
there's a chance.
Would not be surprised.
With that guy, there's a chance.
When we come back, 100 days to the start of the NFL, we'll get some storylines for that and an amazing stat from one guy who beat Tom Brady at something. And it's going to surprise you who it is. On the other side of the show, this being brought to you today by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Great folks there, man. 70 years, guys. 70 years of compassionate care, taking care of you. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones. Urology Centers of Alabama does it for you. You can get all the details of all the services they offer, both men and women, at urologycentersalabama.com. urologycentersalabama.com. 10 beautiful locations, convenient for you here. And when it's time to make an appointment, easy to do with one phone call, 205-930-0920 or urologycentersalabama.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
From driveways to interstates, accidents happen fast. The insurance company's response? Here's our offer. Take it or leave it. Leave it. Call Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Over 250,000 clients. And no, they don't accept lowball offers. They fight, they win. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Well, the injunction hearing hasn't gone as fast as I thought it would go on Brendan Sorsby, considering all the evidence, all the admitted gambling that Sorsby did. The injunction hearing started at 9 a.m. Central Time. It's now an hour and 35 minutes in. I mean, what are we debating at this point?
I mean, it's not always like the legal dramas in the movies or on TV. Like they have to go through a lot of, okay, so can we do this? All right, we need this piece of paperwork and all that. So I get it that it's not as open and closed sometimes as we want to make it seem, but seems like 90 minutes would have been sufficient here. There's a lot that's been admitted to. I mean, let's don't act like...
You admit to making at least 40 bets on Indiana when you were a player? All right, let's save everybody time.
Yeah, I mean,
we can break for lunch.
It's over with.
Yeah. But I'm sure his representation's like, hey, look, this man's career, millions and millions of dollars, the program, like all of this is at stake. It's a big decision, but it does seem pretty, cut and dry that he's not going to be playing.
Listen, despite my age, I am I think players should be paid. I do. People are making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and the players were getting education, housing. I understand that, but there's enough money. There should be some kind of money being paid to them. I'm okay with that. I'm okay, you being able to transfer at least one time without having to sit out a year. But I'm not comfortable yet to a point where we're going to be able to gamble on sports, your sport, your team, and still be able to play. So I'm no on Brendan Sorsby. I have a respect for baseball, but this seems to be a little too much to me here, and it's against every fiber in my body. Like I would have never played baseball like this if I was good enough to play in college. But we had an ejection over the weekend. Tre Phelps hits a home run in the Georgia-Liberty game, and Georgia wins. He gets ejected. Watch the celebration here. This is from one of the fans down the line. He hits a home run, a bomb. Now watch the celebration. Towards the Liberty bench. Now their coach says his mom is sitting behind the bench up in the stand, so he's waving at her. But he does a lot on his trot around, and he's waving and talking. Apparently he says something to the second baseman there. Now he's climbing the ladder.
Oh, yeah, depending on circumstance or situation here, next was in the ear hole.
Well, he didn't get that chance because he got ejected by the umpires, which also means the coach gets ejected too. But that means Tre doesn't play game 1 of the Super Regionals when Mississippi State comes to town this weekend.
I mean, that's excessive. I mean, I don't know what you do. It's like targeting, because we've talked about how excessive it is to pull somebody for an entire half of the next game.
I mean, ejection is a next game suspension, and it would have been the first game of the regular season next year if they didn't win.
Now, I sat here and I watched, highlights in some games over the weekend. There were some home runs hit where there was, Forrest, you watch a lot of baseball too. Brown, you did this weekend. LTI, you saw some as well. It's not exactly like that, but there was some showboating going around the bases.
I mean, I've never seen the Savannah Bananas, but do they take that long to to round it?
They're doing a lot of things, but to Jim's point,
this is a lot right here.
There was something between every base. I mean, he had something between home and first and second, second and third.
Come on, guys. He's only talking to his parents, they're at first base.
This is the most egregious when we're climbing the ladder going into third. What are we doing here?
Yeah, that may have been his aunt sitting right there by the end of the dugout.
Shit, I'd be dizzy how many times he spun.
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe Greg from Pell City was behind third, or C-Stu, and we're climbing the ladder to pay homage to them. I don't know.
Yeah. So he got ejected, but now you're suspended for the next series, too. That seems like a tough penalty. Baseball continues today. Give us the list again, Forrester, for those that are just dying for college sports on this Monday. A day full of elimination games, winter advance. Of course, you focus in on Auburn there at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern on ESPNU against, if you don't recognize that logo of the great baseball powerhouses, that is Wisconsin, Milwaukee, 238 in the RPI. Auburn needs to beat them to advance and host a super regional next week. Cut number 2, Tyler, is Chase Freilich and Ryan Hetzler. Hetzler closed out the first game and started the second game. That's where you are in these pitching staffs. Freilich is a guy who, in 2 games yesterday, was 4 of 7 and hit 3 home runs in the 2 games to keep Auburn alive. So Freilich's the first guy, and Hetzler's the second guy. Hetzler ends game 1 and starts game 2. It's the kind of thing you are when you're battling out of the loser's bracket like Auburn's having to do.
How about your 3 pitchers?
Unbelievable today. Hetzler, that was the most unbelievable thing I've seen since 12-year-old baseball. I haven't seen a pitcher come back multiple games in a row, but he did an incredible job. He competed. I think he threw the hardest pitch, his last pitch in the second game, and he did an unbelievable job controlling the strike zone and getting us some zeros up there to start.
Something I've never done before. Just unbelievable to have the trust to be able to go out and save our bullpen some innings.
When did you find out you were going to?
Honestly, in the 9th inning, before I even went out to finish the game, Teef came up. Hey, is it a crazy idea if you start the next game too? Said, let's do it.
Yeah, so just stay warm.
Yeah.
I would imagine you sit down. You just sort of say, okay, here's 10 minutes. I'm going to sit down. Then I'm going to get up and I'm going to throw some pitches for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to set for 10 minutes. And I'm going to do my warm-up for the game and go out there and pitch.
It is interesting.
It was a brilliant coaching move by Auburn.
It is interesting, especially when you get in the loser's bracket, the decisions you have to make that you would never make. There was, what situation in the year does the guy that closed out a game start the next game within 20, 30 minutes of what? Yeah, that never happens.
Technically, it could if you were doing a bullpen game.
Maybe in a doubleheader or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you see some of these, I don't want to call it desperation, but like we remember Mason Bumgarner taken to the pen in the World Series for San Francisco.
Yeah, and they tried it with Kershaw, and it never really worked for him. But, I mean, that is the interesting thing about this event. As I said earlier, I mean, UCLA was the overall number 1. It still remains one of the craziest stats we have in sports. When was the last time the overall number 1 won it?
1999.
Think about that for a
Well, I
second.
mean, I think 3 of the last 4 years, the overall number 1 hadn't made it out of the region.
Yeah. The last 2 hasn't for sure. Vandy, Forrester was telling me Vandy last year, UCLA.
And UCLA
but Tennessee, I think it was 4 years ago, that great Tennessee team.
UCLA gets beat twice by St. Mary's, who doesn't even advance out of that region. They beat UCLA twice, can't even get out of the region.
I think Tennessee was in the super regionals with Notre Dame.
They did. They lost, in the supers. But it's just, this is the event we want the basketball tournament to be. The baseball has become that. It is super unpredictable. That Friday was crazy. Southern Miss got upset. UCLA got upset. Auburn got upset. I mean, you had a bunch of high seeds get upset.
Yeah. Give me the graphic one more time of the logos that are playing today, Forrester. You have St. John's in baseball that's out there with 1 win. Well, they got to win 2 today.
No, they just got to win 1.
There's another.
That's the if game. Yeah.
They have to win too. There's both both games are today, if necessary, as well as the
Florida State's the unbeaten team right there.
Correct.
Right?
They get going in about 15 minutes.
Oh,
No, I don't think y'all are right about that.
Florida State is unbeaten.
No, St. John's is the unbeaten team.
St. John's is unbeaten.
Okay,
Yeah, St. John's is the unbeaten. That's
so Florida
the
State's got to win too.
Right.
Winner of that one goes to Tuscaloosa. So I guess you're cheering for St. John's.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you would, though. Florida State has a way of not winning that event.
Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, 2 brands there. Auburn and Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Again, 238 in the RPI, but beat Auburn on Friday. Troy and Florida. Now, Sunbelt baseball really good, so don't get blown away by the fact that's Troy there. But Troy and Florida, winner take all game. West Virginia, Kentucky, winner take all game. USC, Texas A&M, winner take all game. Why are we not questioning whether the SEC is overhyped in baseball? Because, I mean, not everybody's advancing through this thing. I know
you've already got 5 in, right?
Yeah, you got 5 in. You got them advancing.
And I'm willing to guess half of the remainders get in. Would you give me half of that group?
Yeah, I'll give you Florida and Auburn for sure.
Okay, so not quite half.
I mean, I don't feel great. No, I mean A&M's a minus 175 favorite. Auburn's ridiculous, minus 1450, and then Florida's almost 3-1, minus 300.
You said Kentucky, West Virginia is the closest on the board. So all that's happening today. Winner advances, except for Florida State, St. John because of rain. St. John just has to win one of those two. Florida State. Winner goes to Tuscaloosa.
Hey, how about Troy? If they were to win, they would host Little Rock in the Super Regional.
Yeah, that's crazy, but think about how close you had to Troy and Jack State, Alabama, and Auburn all in Super Regionals.
I know. I was asking Dunaway before the show how they determine that when the top seeds get upset in the same region.
It's already set up.
Yeah.
This is Forrester's information.
Yeah, but because I thought, Scott, it was close to being Jack State Troy, and I was like, how would they have determined who hosted Jack State Troy?
I'm not sure on that one.
But you know this other one. That was
the other one, Little Rock's stadium does not meet the minimum criteria to host. Therefore, Troy would host.
Okay, but I saw the bracket set up before, and it was like, the Los Angeles region is, and I'm just throwing it out there, playing the winner of Los Angeles region plays at the winner of the Atlanta region.
Right.
So, those 8 destinations were already set up based on just who won the regionals.
Yeah, if they win their regional, though.
But when you get to the unseeded teams winning.
That's when it gets complicated.
That's when it gets complicated. And it was almost Jack State and Troy. That would have been amazing.
Rob Vaughn's the head coach at Alabama, 3rd year in Tuscaloosa, turning Alabama's program around. Now they're off to the Super Regionals without losing in their regional over in Tuscaloosa, finishing up last night over Oklahoma State. Rob Vaughn critical at times of the empty seats this weekend in Tuscaloosa. Here's Rob Vaughn talking about Alabama advancing to the Supers.
Really excited for Tuscaloosa. I kind of called the crowd out a little bit last night, and I tell you what, we might not have had the numbers at the beginning, but those guys were rocking. Like, that's what it's supposed to look like. And they were into it. They were fighting with us, and you could feel it. These guys could feel it. And now, fortunate enough to get to run this back one more weekend. As exciting as this is, like, the job's not done. And these guys know that. So it's time to turn our attention to whoever comes next. Have a great week of practice. We're going to be one of 16 teams that still get to play baseball in the month of June. It's pretty dang exciting. Now it's time to go punch that ticket to Omaha next weekend.
And it's best of 3, and the winners go on to Omaha for that tournament out there in the College World Series. So that's a little baseball conversation before we get back to the NFL. Brought to you today by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
205-969-8100. When you make that call, ask for Amy Tower. The next round sent you. She's going to hook you up. Hassle-free consultation. 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. If you're wearing the contacts or the glasses, stop procrastinating. Make the call today. Find out if you are a candidate. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama way back in 1995. For more information, you can always go online, michelsonlaservision.com.
All right, so 100 days from the start of the NFL season today. Before I ask you biggest storylines going into the year for you guys, the single season NFLPA licensing agreement money earned in the course of the year, the record was a Tom Brady single season when he was with the Buccaneers. $9.5 million of jersey sales, trading card sales, all the stuff that's licensed through the NFLPA. this isn't Tom Brady commercial endorsements or anything like that. That NFLPA record was broken this past year by Shedeur Sanders. By a lot. Shedeur Sanders in jersey sales, card sales, and other NFLPA agreement. The record was $9.5 million. Shedeur Sanders fans bought $17.7 million of NFLPA licensed stuff.
That is
blowing the record out of the water.
Insane. I mean, to buy, first of all, those jerseys are expensive.
Yeah.
And to buy
and he ain't even playing.
Yeah, a Shedeur jersey, knowing that there's a better chance that he's cut in 2 years.
Here's another stat to blow you away.
He's not even playing. If he were starting for the Browns, I could almost say, okay, I get it.
His cut. To your point, though, Brady, when he went to the Buccaneers, people were buying new Brady jerseys.
He was winning a Super Bowl, too. Yeah, let's don't forget that.
So people got Shedeur jerseys, but they were saying apparently there's this Shedeur Sanders fan base that they were just jumping on and buying and supporting him. His cut of this is 170% more money than Deion will make as the head coach at Colorado this year.
That's nuts.
Yeah. Like just his cut on jersey, NFLPA stuff is 170% more than Deion will make this year.
Any dad is probably proud of that. Like, I worked hard, so I crawled so you could run. So I'm sure Deion is proud of his son for that. But that is just remarkable because, I mean, say what you want about Deion as the Colorado coach. At least he's the head coach at Colorado. This guy is not even the quarterback at Cleveland.
Well, what's crazy, do you think there's another Cleveland jersey? Like Myles Garrett, like that's a great fan base. I could understand if Myles Garrett was like maybe the number one jersey. But do you think anybody in the history of the Cleveland Brown organization has ever been the number one sold jersey?
Tim Couch was the overall number one pick, but I guarantee that jersey was
I able to buy Jim Brown jerseys back in the day?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
but
I don't
if
think
you
so
would have, maybe.
17.7 million of sales. I mean, are they getting 50% of what they sell? I mean,
so is that? I was going to ask you what the cut is.
I read this story. 170% more than what Deion will make this year at Colorado.
I think Deion's making $8 million, isn't he? Am I wrong about that?
I don't think it's 8. I thought it was 6. But
we're about to get into the math portion.
But 170% is going to be like about 8 or 9 million.
Yeah. I just go by the robot. A base salary of $10 million, according to ESPN.
Well, there's no way he's making.
Yeah, I don't know where our
70 at that point.
Don't know where our math is here.
Okay, so NFL players do not get paid directly from each jersey or merchandise sell. Instead, they earn royalties through the NFL Players Association group licensing program.
But is that number the royalty earned that you just gave me, $17 million?
Pools revenue from all officially licensed player branded products and distributes it to the eligible players.
10 this year.
Okay, so he doesn't get his direct sales. He gets a cut of the pool that everyone.
Yeah, but does he get a bigger cut because he's got a bigger portion of it, though?
Star players' extra income. While the group licensing system is the standard, top players can earn through individual endorsement deals, autograph sales, special edition merchandise, video game appearances. For example, 2025, Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders earned a record $17.7 million by group licensing income.
Yeah, that's his cut. That's not just what he contributed to the pool. That's his cut.
Far exceeding Tom Brady's previous mark of $9.5 million.
Yeah. So Deion makes.
So it wasn't $7.7 million in sales. $17.7 million is his cut.
But that's even more amazing. Deion will make 10 this year, 11, and then 12 if he coaches all the way through 2029. That's from ESPN. So he's making 10. So the 170% makes sense. That's how it was pretty easy math at that.
You hope if you're Shedeur, and I'm sure, obviously came from a good family and has tons of money, but, pull up Gronk here and just put your money up because I don't know if he'll make 17.7 in his entire career as a backup quarterback.
You would like to think, like normally a guy that's making $17 million from the NFLPA, his contract probably dwarfs that to a certain extent because he's one
Tom
of the top
Brady.
players. Yeah, Tom Brady. I mean, you would like to think, dude, just pocket your contract and live off the NFLPA money. You know what I'm saying?
Rookie contract right now, but yeah.
Well, I know, but in a normal situation is what I'm saying. A normal situation, Jim, a rookie contract guy's not making this. Certainly a non-starter's not making this.
Well, I mean, his rookie contract is not good either. What do you think he's making this year?
$450,000, whatever the minimum is.
That sounds about right. I mean, here you go. He is making... he signed a 4-year, $4.6 million average annual 1.1.
Yeah, but that's probably
a lot.
It's probably backloaded though.
5th round draft pick.
Yeah.
Well, he's selling them jerseys, obviously.
So 100 days out, if I say biggest storyline in the NFL going into the season 100 days from now, I've seen a couple of these bouncing around on the screen today. Orlovsky was asked the question earlier, is it Super Bowl or bust for the Bengals? Boy, that seems like a big climb to be Super Bowl or bust.
But I would take an angle on that. And, with the AFC being so wide open and Drake May in year 2, New England coming out of nowhere, getting to the Super Bowl last year. Do one of the big 3 finally in the AFC win their first Super Bowl? Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I think that is a huge storyline. And on the other side of that, are the Kansas City Chiefs truly done? A lot of injuries last year, not a lot of playmakers, but if they were to miss the postseason again this year.
Yeah, and I think the storyline there is the Mahomes injury, right? I mean, that ties into are the Chiefs done?
It does, but I mean, I think he's going to be 100% healthy. I just don't know. Like, sooner or later, he's going to lose that extra step that gets him those extra yards and kind of changes everything he does.
It's funny you throw Joe Burrow in there with Josh and Lamar. It seems like Josh and Lamar have been better, but Joe Burrow's the only one that's been to a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, he is.
Josh and Lamar have also been primarily healthy. Now Lamar's
that's the thing. Yeah, when Joe's healthy, he's right there with him.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, all 3 different types of players.
We have moved, apparently, because the way we work in this country, this is completely fallen off the radar now. I guess we've moved on from the potential storyline of Mike Vrabel, which seemed absurd anyway, not coaching the Patriots. I mean, that was a hot storyline in Boston for a minute, is that Vrabel might actually lose his job over all this. I thought that sounded insane.
Well, I mean,
but it does not get talked about now.
He finally spoke, but didn't speak about that.
Right.
You haven't heard anything from Rossini's camp. This chick that got fired from USA Today comes out with all these crazy, like 6+ different people have slept with different reporters.
Yeah.
Now, she's going to have some substance to back this up.
Yeah, but I mean, do y'all feel like we're past that possibility? I don't know that it was a possibility, but boy, I kept seeing Boston radio stations talk about it being a possibility.
Well, I think with stories like that, you always have to keep it on the back burner, wondering
there could be
is there going to be something that comes out that takes us to a different level?
Right.
Well, I mean, I think New England, the big storyline right now is A.J. Brown, and I saw where Schefter said earlier today that he believes in the next 24 hours a deal will be done for A.J. Brown to New England, which is a huge get for the Patriots. In the NFC, I mean, I don't think Seattle repeats, but, like, who's the best in the NFC right now?
There's the Rams. I mean, people kill you for bringing the Rams up all the time, but the Rams are the best team in the NFC.
On paper, but, like, on paper.
I think you were last year, too, by the way. You just had to go to Seattle in the NFC Championship game.
But I'm more like – I'm fascinated by the NFC North. When you've got the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, Vikings, to me, any of those teams can win that division.
And unlike college football, they could all be between 10 and 9 wins. They could all be 10 and 7, all sneak into the playoffs and all be Super Bowl champions.
I think you're going to see more of that in the NFL. Like, the Rams losing 5 games last year. That's a lot of games when you look at an elite team.
And I think you were the best team in the NFL.
Yeah,
and you lost 5 games.
How difficult it is week in, week out.
When it comes to repeating as champions, we don't live in a dynasty world all the time. The NBA is struggling with that right now. We've got one in Major League Baseball. I guess it was the Chiefs for a while, correct?
It was
the Chiefs dynasty. Even if they weren't winning it felt like they were in it.
Chiefs Kingdom, they call it. Yeah.
So the Seahawks, you don't think they repeat. The Rams, outside of those two, the third NFC team would be one from the North. What about the AFC? Who is the Patriots were there, but I don't think any of us think the Patriots get back.
No, I think it's the Bills, it's the Bengals, it's the Ravens, it's the Texans if you can get more consistent play at quarterback. And I think the Chargers are going to be really good.
You don't think Denver can repeat?
I think they can, but again, I just thought their offense was at times a mess, and the defense carried them, and I just don't know how long you can continue to do that. Now, Bo can continue to get better. And
if he's healthy. That ankle's worrisome, obviously. I mean, it has now become an issue for him.
You've hinted that you would not be surprised if it's L.A. versus L.A.
Yeah, I mean, that's
SoFi.
If you gun to head right now, I'm going L.A. versus L.A. We're already going to have that matchup on November 1st in the regular season, but I think we're going to see that in SoFi. That's the way I would go. It's almost impossible to pick one participant in the Super Bowl, much less two. But I think another interesting storyline is, some former, highly drafted quarterbacks in Tua now in Atlanta and Kyler Murray now in Minnesota. Can they, on, the other team's dime, can they excel again and get back to, borderline elite quarterbacks? And I think both have opportunities where they're going.
More on the NFL coming up later in the show, including trash. But when we come back to baseball, and Lance Cormier joins the show. That's being brought to you today by our friends at Roback.com, an opportunity to jump on Roback.com, use the promo code TNR20 and get some great gear.
I saw a guy at church yesterday wearing a Roback golf shirt, and the pattern were Blue Angel Jets. It was super cool. Yeah, it was a really cool Blue Angel shirt.
That is one of the things that Roback does is they've got all these crazy patterns. Like Bullet's got a hair of the dog bandana, and it's got like little bourbon glasses and dogs on it. And Roback's is very, very creative of what they do. You've also got the team gear available, and they're going to have more team gear. They are signing new licensing deals with different universities across the country. Important. Go to Roback.com. When you put in that code TNR20, you're going to save 20%. It's that simple. TNR20 at Roback.com.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. The website is aplanforme.com, And Leslie and her board-certified team will take care of you, whether you want to jumpstart your weight loss or if you want to maintain your weight loss. You can do that with a variety of different ways, from injection therapy to meal replacement, protein bars to eliminate bad snacking, and everything in between. See what they have to offer at Way to Wellness. The website, again, is aplanforme.com. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and that first consultation with Leslie is free. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Hop in. Injured in an Uber or Lyft? Here's the problem. Was it the driver's fault? The other car? The app company? Good luck figuring that out while you're trying to heal. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys, they've got a guy for rideshare accidents. And here's the best part. They don't get paid unless you do. You heal. They fight. One call, 659-777-7777. Or visit alexwins.law. Alexander Shinar Trial Attorneys. Because rideshare accidents need an experienced team. Physical office, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations: Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it, and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right, and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, baseball talk with Lance Cormier after I remind you the final hour of the show is brought to you by Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. You can go and load up and enjoy the great Southern fried chicken that's brined overnight tonight in front of your screens as you watch Auburn play at 5 o'clock, trying to survive 5 Central. Alabama softball in action at 6 o'clock, needing a win tonight to get to the championship series. All the stuff on the dirt happening, and Champy's Chicken is there for you when we get back to football season as well in 89 days. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
Former Alabama Major League pitcher Lance Cormier with us now on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. You will see him in the Florida Troy game tonight. He's had that regional there for ESPN and ESPN Plus.
That's a midweek game.
A midweek game that has been tough for a lot of people. I'm sure he'll have a streaming device on the side watching his son play at Auburn. His alma mater, Alabama, is in, so he doesn't have to worry about them. Had Alabama lost last night, though, Cormier, this is going to be an interesting day for you with your son, your alma mater, and the game you're getting paid to call.
Yeah, it really would have been, man. It's crazy time right now. I mean, the voice, after 6 games, I think I woke up Saturday, chills, couldn't talk. I'm like, well, this is not going to be fun. I got 4 more games and now 5 to go. But you're right, man. Like, that was a really cool thing for Alabama to lock it in, to be able to have that atmosphere, to finish it. Don't worry about the if necessary game. They know they're going to have a super regional there. I'm trying to think. I think 06 was the last time Alabama's had a super regional. So, hey, but the best part about it, squeeze play. I'm watching the game. You got monitors, but I got the iPad on the boy. Squeeze plays, taking care of everything else. And so it's a fun time of year. And for us as a college baseball fan, it's definitely the best time of year.
So, Lance, go back to Friday in Plainsman Park. We talked about Auburn was a 7.5 run favorite, which I have never seen. Massive favorite against Milwaukee, and it's 4-0 in the first, 6-0 in the second. You get to the fourth, it's 10-0. I mean, what are you thinking at that point?
Well, you just didn't know. I mean, like, obviously Milwaukee came in, I think it was like 268 RPI. So Auburn has, I mean, everybody's going to say, oh, they overlooked him. Like, no, like, I mean, for some reason, the starter, Jake Marciano, who's been really, really good all year throughout the best conference in baseball, the velocity looked a little down. So he was around 87, 88. And if you start to think about, I mean, like, what do you probably see in that conference? Probably around that. So he was more of that hitting speed. And then LJ came in, got out of the jam a little bit, had 2 good innings. And he said, like, he started looking at numbers and he's like, Dad, the home run. He goes, the guy hadn't even swung at a first pitch curveball all year. So I thought, I'm not just going to get me a strike in there. And the guy hits a home run dead central for a 3-run jack. I'm like, well, they call them trends for a reason. They're not facts. And, but I mean, you got to give them a lot of credit. I mean, they continued to fight, right? They scored 8 runs. But man, it's tough once you get down 10-0. So love the fight that they showed the rest of that game. And then the bats have come alive, right? Going against, they scored 17 against NC State, and NC State did not want to go down easy in Elliott Avant's last game. That was really crazy how a 30-year career at one school ends on a pitch clock violation. Think about that. When he started coaching at NC State, he figured his career would end on a pitch clock, and he's like, all right, this but I mean, they continue to hit yesterday. You almost think like, hey, they wish they probably could have continued to play and played that 3rd game last night because just how good they were doing. But I mean, I look for the boys. They're really good. I mean, all year they have been playing at a super high level, pitching at a high level. The offense has been inconsistent, but that's the one thing that has been there for this regional. So they get any type of pitching, I really believe that Auburn's going to lock in a super regional.
We've shown it a couple of times on the show today of how little we pay attention to college baseball during the regular season. So when Cormier comes into the game, I was like, God, I wonder if he's any kin to Lance. I mean, that's just not a familiar name I hear in baseball a lot.
Turns out.
And I get to the golf course and my Auburn buddy's like, no, that's Lance's son out there. LJ, that's his son that's playing.
Yeah.
How
Really
tough is
cool.
that? How tough has that been for you, or is it not that big a deal at all? It's just you're doing what's best for your son.
Yeah, I mean, he committed to Auburn right before his sophomore year. That was back when the guys could commit. And Auburn came on in pretty hard, pretty quickly. This was the old staff at Bama, the Bohannon, Matt Rada staff. And I mean, LJ had been to camps at Alabama, and talking to those guys, I think they just kind of assumed a relationship instead of really trying to pursue it. But I mean, like those kids talk, they know on their team what schools are talking to their buddies, and so it was one of those where when Auburn came in pretty hard, he was like, "Look, this school really wants me." And man, I left Louisiana, right? I was the trader who left LSU and moved to Alabama to play ball, and called that home. So was able to grow up in the 4 years away from home. So and for him, man, he's carving his own path. Obviously, there's certain parts that, especially at the beginning, it was like, whoa, this is just really weird. But I mean, being committed for 3 years, and now once he's on campus, man, like I can see he's where he needs to be. You always hear living your best life. Like my man is living his best life.
Hey, and Butch has a great reputation with pitchers too, right? His pitching staff knowledge goes way back to his assistant days.
Yeah, well, I mean, like just think like this. So you got Butch Thompson, who's been a pitching coach in the SEC for what, couple decades. He's been a part of the SEC. Then you got Scott Foxhall, who's their player development guy. He was the pitching coach for Mississippi State when they won the national title. And then, oh, by the way, you got your real pitching coach, Everett Tiefert, who has some pro ball experience and now is this is, I think, year 3 or 4 in the SEC. So you got 3 different eyes: old school, kind of in the middle, and then a newer school, analytical type guy in Tiefert. So he's getting the best of both worlds when it comes to where he's at, but just the eyes that are on him. Like he said last night after the 4th inning, they call this the transition room. I'm like, I don't really know what that means, but he's sitting there after the 8th inning, and Butch, he said, BT walked in and said, you better, I'm not gonna use the words possibly, but he said, you better get out there and finish this, what game. And LJ was like, yes, sir. And so went out there and just continued to attack the zone. But yeah, it's a great pitching knowledge. And I think that's what you see is because with so many eyes on them, they have the ability, because everybody's different and everybody thinks of different things. The way if I'm going to hear it from somebody, I'm going to really associate, okay, I can figure out what he's saying. Well, like a different pitcher maybe hears it from another guy better. And so I like how they do it and having the 3 guys over there.
When you get to a Monday like this, look, both clubhouses have the same problem, but how difficult is it for Butch to try to figure out pitching when you get this deep in a weekend where you've given up all these runs and you're playing elimination baseball and it's do or die today?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it right now, just the way the season has gone, if anybody in the country, there's about 3 schools. Texas is probably one. Oregon State, obviously they lost the best pitcher in the country, Dax Whitney, but like Auburn is one of those schools that they can do this. I mean, Marciano, yes, he had a rough start, but like chalk that up as a rough start. I think he's going to get the ball again today. You also have Jackson Sanders, who has been like a godsend when it comes to moving from the rotation, which he still had great numbers in the rotation, but moving him to the bullpen, like the dude is unhittable when he comes in the ball game. So they still have guys that they feel pretty comfortable with that they can scrap together 9 innings. And so you also got to think, man, Milwaukee came in with they started 5-22, and obviously they're hot and they believe it, and it's like, it's considered playing with house money. But you got to think like, hey, this staff, the depth of this staff has to be better than what Milwaukee has. And just with the way Auburn's swinging it, I like their chances.
Lance Cormier is with us, former Alabama pitcher, major league pitcher. Now you see him on the ESPN and the SEC network. Florida, Troy. Today is the game he'll be on. You can watch that, tonight on ESPN+. He's on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. Explain to me if you can, and I am sure a lot of people wonder why the 1 seed cannot advance in this event. 1999, the last time the 1 seed won it. UCLA, who some doubted because that record seemed too good to be true, But they lose twice to St. Mary's, who doesn't even advance out of that region. I mean, that one makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just you have guys coming in. They play with chips on their shoulders, right? They have nothing to lose. The biggest talk on Friday was, who's going to pitch off, and saving aces and doing things like that. Where, when you do that, like that's a little internal drive to these other teams that are like, oh, they feel like they can win without pitching their ace. Okay, so and you never want to try to give another team something else to be fired up about. But I think it just shows you the parity that we have in this game throughout the whole 300 plus Division I teams, and even on down, right? Division II, Division III, NAIA, JUCO. I mean, it's so crazy the amount of talent, and I think that starts with the big leagues now dropping the draft to 20 rounds. It used to be 80 to 50, and now it's 20. So, and you hear talks of them wanting to go to 10. Like that would push so many more outstanding athletes into college baseball, which would be cool for college. But I think I like the 20 round, but that's where it gets to the point where you have the parity. And so many guys, like these teams have 23-year-olds, they have 850 college at bats. So they've been around the block, even though they're not at the big name school on their chest, but they still can play. And so it is just really weird. I think Tennessee in 24 actually was a 1 seed that took it all the way. So in the 27 years, take out COVID, 26 years. Yeah, we've had 2. So for Georgia, I thought that was one of those big things. Everybody's like, well, Georgia, they went through the SEC. They should be the number 1 seed. UCLA hadn't done anything. Like Wes Johnson was like, no, let us sit at the 3 seed. We do not want to be the number 1 seed and have that target on your back. But it does show that UCLA, the Big Ten, that brand of baseball, and again, they're a good team. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of would they have gone through the SEC and had 2 losses in conference? There is no way. I mean, like they're probably sitting with 10, just like a lot of the other teams, and questioning, are we good? Are we not good? One weekend, the next weekend we are good, the next week we're not. That's just how these SEC coaches go. So, but I think you have to give parity as the number 1 answer for that.
I wanted to ask you, I know it wasn't the game that you called, but I know you've seen the highlights by now. The Tre Phelps ejection, in your opinion as an analyst, warranted and a former pitcher, and do you believe it's too severe that it also carries a suspension of not playing in game 1 of the Supers?
Yeah, I mean, like you can see a lot of these reasonings, right? Tre Phelps, supposedly his parents, there's pictures, whatever. The parents are sitting above the Liberty dugout. He had a tough series. He hits the jack. He looks at his parents. I mean, that's just who Tre Phelps is. I mean, he's a great dude. Like you talk to him, you watch him and you go, man, I just like it burns inside of you. You want to get him out so bad. But like, that's who he is. That's who Wes Johnson, they let his boys play like that. He runs it like a big league clubhouse. He comes from the big leagues as a pitching coach. But he says, I want my guys to express themselves. Now, did Phelps go a little farther? Because, I mean, he waved at the first baseman. He clapped in the face of the second baseman. I mean, he's doing all these other things. But, like, that's what he does. Now, is the ejection warranted? Yes. I mean, like, you're not supposed to taunt players. They've really tried to crack down on that. Pitchers get a little leeway. You start seeing them, looking at the guys and adrenaline dumping off the mound. Like, schools have gotten warned for that. So I'm okay with the ejection. Now, sitting out the next game, I think that's something else that needs to be taken care of because, I mean, like, they have been the best team in the SEC, hands down, from start to finish. And now they're going into the super regional play without their leadoff hitter and statistically second best player. Like, that's not fair when it comes down to how it is. So I'm okay with the ejection. I don't necessarily like the ruling that he's going to have to sit out.
Top end quarterbacks now in NIL can make $5 million a year, Lance. What are the top NIL baseball guys making?
Man, I look at NIL as something that when you hear it, like divide it by 2 because everybody's lying. I mean, like I think everybody's pumping their numbers. We used to do the same thing when we'd sit down at school when you obviously had 11.7 scholarships and everybody's, yeah, I'm on 65, I'm on 80. And you're like, dude, if everybody was on the same scholarship, we have 25 scholarships. We know we're not on that. So it's kind of like that. Man, you do hear numbers of anywhere from, some of the big schools. I mean, I know LSU, I've heard paid a couple guys that ended up not being in their lineup, $250,000 plus. I mean, that's just crazy. There was, a lot of rumors, which they are all rumors because they don't have to declare that. But like the A&M pitcher from last year, he turned down like the Angels in the 4th round. He turned down $1 million. Well, supposedly he got pretty close to that at Texas A&M to go back and pitch. So there's some schools that obviously have some dollars. You talk about the Texas schools, LSU, Mississippi State. I mean, those 4, Tennessee, Arkansas. I mean, like, they're mostly in the SEC, but those schools can really foot the bill for some good players. Now, last year was one of a fluke year when they had that settlement and the rev share came on, and you basically had these schools had 2 pots of money they could distribute without any questions. Now you have a little bit of the rev share dollars, you have your collective, but if the dollars are from the collective, they have to go through that third party and make it where it has to be semi, I guess, legal. Now people are going to figure out a way how to do it, but how do you pass $100,000 for a guy to go sign some autographs? Probably not happen. He's going to actually have to do a little bit of work for it.
I know we've touched on Alabama. They're already in. We were talking about the teams that are fighting to get in today, and I'm going to ask you to do a hard thing because you don't know if they're going to play Florida State or St. John's. But as much as you can, looking forward to the Super for Alabama, what do you like that they are doing well right now? Without knowing their opponent, how do you feel about Alabama and the Super starting this weekend?
Man, you got to feel good. It's just a team that, if you pull up the stats, like, you'll be so shocked. They ended the season in the SEC 15th out of 16th in hitting, 16th out of 16th in defense. So that's 2 phases of the game. They're almost dead last. They showed 6 errors not yesterday, but the day before, and still won the game against USC Upstate. But the one thing is they compete on the mound. They come in, they throw strikes. They don't beat themselves. So, and like, when you look at it, yes, the lineup, the statistical numbers are not really good, but they get the big hit when it matters most. I mean, like Eric Hines, the Tuscaloosa native, I mean, he and LJ grew up together. I mean, I've watched him since he was 5 years old playing ball, and like, the man that he has grown up to be is so cool. Dude plays the game for the right reasons. He is having so much fun, big smile on his face. Like, him hitting the home run to tie the game. It was 11-something. I screamed twice in the hotel room when he hit the ball and tied the ball game, and then when Chase Fralick hit the ball that I think hit the dorm in the I think it was the 3rd inning of that game. It was like 11:45 here, and I screamed, and people were knocking on the wall like, "Hey, shut up!" And I'm like, But then Brady Neal comes back. Like, they just get the big hit. So for Alabama, it was so big to get that top 8 national seed, to be able to host, to be able to feel good in the friendly confines of the Joe. There's just something about the magic in the Joe. I mean, like, I think we had from like 1995 to 2001, we didn't lose a series at home. So it was just like, hey, we knew if we could get to the point where we hosted, we were going to win. We were going to go to Omaha. And I think that's exactly, it's coming back. And Rob Vaughn and his staff, I mean, they bring energy. That's the number one word I would say. Like, he is energetic. Everybody's energetic. He loves his team. I mean, it obviously would be a coach you'd love to play for. So I like their chances. Now, if Florida State, which you got to think they could come all the way through their regional, they can match up with anybody when it comes to pitching. So good pitching does beat good hitting in the postseason, and Florida State would bring that in there. But, man, I still think it would be hard to believe that Florida State would come in and take Alabama 2-3.
Part of me wants to ask who's making more money, LJ now or you back in your days at Alabama, but I'll skip that. I'll skip that question.
Hey, so far, this is a cool story. Obviously, I made $20. I used to always warm up at the right fielder, so I come back my senior year, and there's the guys that would give us, I'd go warm up the first inning. He'd toss over like 2 bags of boiled peanuts. I'd bring them in. I don't really like boiled peanuts. I'd bring them to Coach Wells. He loved them. He'd start eating them and everything. A couple of the guys in the bullpen. So my senior year, first game that I'm not throwing, I go out there, throw the guy. He tosses over, and he's like, "Open it." I open it. There's $20 in it. He goes, "Take that pretty girl out for dinner." I'm like, "Throw me another bag. I really want to take it for dinner." But I mean, like, and so I got $20, and that's my pay to play story for me at Alabama. But,
making a fortune.
No, I mean, like, LJ, heck, kid wasn't even on a full scholarship. So hopefully we'll see some of that change a little bit. Now, he had a great scholarship, no doubt about it, because obviously they went up. but they scholarship more than the 34, so they split things up. But no, I think Auburn, it's going to be good for him. He's had a really good year and established himself with a really cool role. I think he had his 20th appearance last night. Outside of that one bad game, man, he's basically had one bad inning all year, and that was the Milwaukee game. So I'm glad, however it happens the rest of the day, if they move on, not for him to be able to not end his season on that one bad game. He was able to go back out there and put up 5 strong, finish it out. And I mean, how about their pitching yesterday? They went game 3 and 4 of a regional, and they used 3 pitchers.
Wow.
18 innings, 3 pitchers. One guy went 6, one guy went 7, one guy went 5. And I think they had 3 total walks in those 18 innings. So it was special.
Yeah. So 2 strikes, no balls, 2 strikes. Ohtani's at the plate. Could you walk out there right now and get him out?
Man, I think the fastball right now would be about 82 to 83. I'd hope that I'm probably going to try to slow him even further down. I might just try to flip almost like that slow 71 breaking ball, because I think I could still flip it. But man, how special is that dude to go out there and watch play, not only at the plate, but the mound, man, the stuff that he does. And to think that you have to be so good at your craft to stay at that level as a pitcher, as a hitter. And he gets to do it as both. And he's like, well, yeah, I'm going to concentrate on hitting today. Man, he can flip a switch better than anybody. So such a special, fun player to watch. And absolutely not. He would rake me. There's no chance I'm probably pitching in the big leagues these days with the analytics and the stuff that everybody has. My 88 to 89 wouldn't have played probably.
But see, I love the fact he already had the pitch in mind.
Oh yeah, I know what I'm throwing.
I'd probably break it off a little slower, 71, a little flip, a little curve, and watch him spin himself into the ground.
All right, it is 5 o'clock Central Time, Florida, Troy. We have been seeing all day ESPN Plus. I just saw ESPN say SEC Network. I assume you know where the game is. Can we see it on SEC Network?
Yeah. It's going to be on a main network. I think it's either ESPNU or SEC Network. It's whatever one Auburn is not.
Okay.
But, man, Troy is playing so relaxed. Skylar Meade has the boys. They have some fun. Florida's pressing. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous when it comes to how bad Florida's pitching has been. And if you can't throw the ball over the plate and get guys out, I mean, you have first rounder after first rounder taking the mound, and they just keep giving up lasers. I mean, they've given up 40 runs in 26 innings, and that's with their first starter going 5 1/3 scoreless. So after that, the last 25 innings, they've given up, or last 20 innings, they've given up 40 runs. And so right now, Troy, everything, obviously, it's in Gainesville. Florida has more depth on the mound. They're going to put out a guy, probably, I think it's Cooper Walls. I haven't gotten it. I texted Skylar Meade. He says, I have no clue. I asked him, how many times have you had to flip the coin to figure it out, right? Who are you going to throw? But the way they're playing, they are relaxed. Florida's pressing. And, boy, when you start pressing at the plate on the mound and you got a team playing loose as they are, it can get scary.
Yeah. Well, you'll see that at 5 o'clock, part of a great day of do-or-die baseball throughout the country, and Lance will be there in Gainesville. Cormier, thank you for the time, brother. Always good to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. We'll see you soon. Lance with us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And the show being brought to you in part today by our friends at New York Butcher Shop, LT.
Hey, New York Butcher Shop, great place to stop in, pick up some of those incredible steaks, the ribs, the chicken, the pork, all the fresh sides made in-house daily. Great staff of butchers, 2 locations, the original Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also a fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. Get in, see Jim and the fine folks right there at the New York Butcher Shop. 2 locations, rare quality, well-done service.
You mentioned catching Cormier's son and realizing he played at Auburn. I am watching West Virginia and Kentucky last night. I know nothing about West Virginia baseball. I just thought it was a pretty cool setting and it was an entertaining game. And our buddy Tom Hart was doing play-by-play, and Tom is spectacular at baseball. And I trust that Tom's going to get things right. And Tom is talking about one of the West Virginia players, and I think it was the pitcher, and he said, boy, he has done a great job pitching for Coach Steve Saban's team. And I'm like, wait a minute, West Virginia? And the guy's last name is Saban? This can't be. Well, I Google it. It is Sabins. I thought he was saying Sabins plural, but it's got an S on the end of it already, or possessive. I thought for a moment there was a member of the Saban family coaching baseball at West Virginia. I was like, surely I would have heard this story by now.
We would have heard that by now, for sure.
A couple of breaking NFL news. Russell Wilson officially retiring, and he is going to join the CBS pregame show with James Brown, Nate Burleson, and them.
Good Lord, how many people they got on that show now?
Too many.
I can't figure out who
I would assume he's going to sign a one-year deal with Seattle.
And
to retire as a Seahawk.
Yeah. And then, and by the way, his career, Super Bowl champion, 10-time Pro Bowler. This is from Adam Schefter. 46,966 passing yards, 353 passing touchdowns, 31 rushing touchdowns, a 121-80 record.
Easy Hall of Fame.
Yeah, easy. I saw our buddy Chase Daniel ask that question on social media just a moment ago when that broke. Is he a Hall of Famer? I think he's maybe even a first ballot.
Yeah, like
the way they treat quarterbacks.
You put guys that haven't gotten there yet, and Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning, he is, in my opinion, way above those
guys. He's
guys.
got something they don't have,
Yeah.
and that'll get you in there.
And Adam Schefter also reporting now 3 minutes ago, Odell Beckham Jr. back to the New York Giants.
Well, they need receivers. I didn't know they needed receivers that bad. Like, what kind of shape is Odell in?
You know, he was a Dolphin, too, and he contributed nothing as a Miami Dolphin.
Now, the last time I saw him really contribute was when he played in the Super Bowl for the Rams.
Yeah.
And, you know, if he doesn't go down, I stick to it. The Rams win that game going away.
And the Dolphins got him right after that, and he was supposed to be Miami's 3 and barely even saw the field. So I just don't know how he can contribute.
It's going to be tough.
Giants odds to win the Super Bowl, says Hard Rock Bet, before signing Odell, plus 600. After signing Odell,
plus 600. Yeah.
plus 6,000, plus 6,000.
Okay.
Hasn't changed. So that's from Hard Rock Bet there on social media. So a couple of NFL notes there. We'll do our college football spotlight on the other side and get our way towards trash, brought to you today in part by our friends at Hemp Hill. LT, take us a break, man.
Yeah, our friends at Hemp Hill want to remind you, as this weather continues to creep up there, temperature-wise, you need to make sure the HVAC unit is keeping up with the changing weather. Whether you experience, any cooling issues or plumbing issues, home or business, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for any and all these issues. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. From the gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777. Or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Final segment of the show, and we almost had the end of the season for Ramondre Stevenson. Give me Forrester's microphone before he plays the video here. This would have been Robert Edwards' Pro Bowl flag football, touch football on the sand-esque if Stevenson's NFL season would have ended here. Where is this happening, and what's the backdrop to comedian Matt Rife being involved in this?
Oh, I don't have background. I just pulled the video, Jim.
You just know it's Matt Rife.
You just have the video. I'll see if I can find the details. Show these guys the video. Let them react.
All right.
Matt Rife at the plate.
We got a throwing error.
Celebrity softball.
Running to second. Running up. We got
That's Ramondre Stevenson.
He's in a pickle.
Oh,
God, right in his leg.
One thing you don't want. One thing you don't want in celebrity softball is anybody sliding.
Yeah, especially head first.
Yeah, that should be like really an unsaid rule.
Yeah. I mean, he's going head first into second and goes head first into Ramondre Stevenson's knee. Jeez, I mean, can you imagine? What an offseason for the Patriots if that went down, right?
Would have been
Yeah, okay. I've got a little bit here. This is Drake May's May Day softball classic.
Even worse.
On Sunday.
Even worse is quarterback.
To support May and his wife's foundation. And potentially take out his running back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you, Lance. I think among athletes it goes unsaid. Comedian Matt Rife probably needs to be told, hey, we're not sliding today.
Yeah.
But we're certainly not going at anyone's knees to try to leg out a double out off a throwing
error. I can't even imagine
if
that would have cost him a season.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, crazy. Let's do our college football spotlight today. Hit it, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight
is presented by our guy, Alexander Shinara. Shinara Trial Attorneys. They are Birmingham company. Why? Because Alexander Shinara was born and raised in Birmingham. I was texting with his college roommate just yesterday, the great Andy Kennedy. Alexander Shinara went to UAB. He grew up in Birmingham, and when he started his firm, he said, I want to take care of my hometown. I don't know that anybody envisioned that it would be what it is today, but it's 150-plus attorneys, more than 500 dedicated team members, and it is based right here in his hometown of Birmingham, Alabama. They've recovered more than $2 billion, $2 billion with a B. That's the kind of attorneys you're getting with the Shinara firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Shinara.com. Shinara.com. Daniel wants to know if Matt Rife gets suspended like the Bat Dog does. The Bat Dog in Tulsa got suspended. You got to suspend Matt Rife, too.
Part of our spotlight here, Nick Saban is part of the Wednesday hearing, the Senate hearing with the Cruz Cantwell Save Protect College Sport Act in the Senate. So Nick Saban is one of the people that would testify in front of the Senate. This comes on the back heels of Kirk Cignetti, who is the face of college football right now, saying that 1 or 2 years left at this rate, unless we get some rules, is all that we have left on being sustainable at this rate. What I would ask Coach Cignetti is this. If all of you guys keep saying this is unsustainable, how come the price of the rosters go up by $10 million every year? If it's unsustainable, how was it $30 million last year? It's $47 million this year. If it's unsustainable, how is it? If it's 47 this year, I bet it's going to be 57 next year.
I don't know where it stops.
Yeah. So I don't know what is unsustainable, but I do know this. If you get into a financial pinch and you go to the mobsters down your street in whatever city you live in or whatever year you lived in, and you needed money quickly and you borrowed money, same with some of these pawn shops and loan places, it's a pretty high interest rate, and there's repercussions if you get into bed with those folks, right? I give you Utah and their athletic program. They sold off part of their athletic department to private equity for the money, for the millions of dollars upfront money. 33% owned by private equity now. On Friday, on their way to the weekend, a number of employees started getting word that they are going to be, their jobs are being eliminated.
Utah employees.
Utah employees' jobs are being eliminated. Athletic department, not football. Athletic department employees being eliminated. You have a chance to go to this private equity fund and get rehired for basically your same job through the private equity folks. They own 30%, 33% now. They'll handle things like ticketing and marketing.
If they want to hire you back.
Yeah.
Private equity does nothing but, like, when you see private equity take over a big brand, restaurant brand, that's when you start to see the quality go down.
They get it as lean as possible.
Yeah.
And that's what they'll do with Utah.
Yeah. Like if I was the ticket guy at Utah, you think I'm going to go to the private equity, I'm going to be making the same thing if I get rehired to do my job?
No, if you get rehired and you're making the same, you're going to be doing somebody else's job with the job you're currently doing.
Chances are
you absorb somebody. They eliminated somebody. You're now got 2 jobs.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Chances are there were 3 jobs that got eliminated. You're reapplying for one of those, and you're going to do the work of all 3, and you're going to need to be the cheapest to get that 3-in-1 job, basically.
Yeah. By the way, I don't think this is exclusive to private equity with all this spending going on. I think it'll happen to people that haven't sold out to private equity. But the private equity folks are going to get their 33%.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They're going to get their money.
They own 33% of this, and they're going to get 33% of their money back.
They're going to squeeze the orange until they get all the juice out of it, and it's going to come at the expense of people's jobs.
Yeah, and for people that say, hey, this is NFL, like, we're still a long ways away from the NFL, because the NFL basically with 53 guys on a roster, you've got roughly half of what you got on a college roster. And, you know, even if the number gets to 50 million, we live in a day where we've got a $300 million plus salary in the NFL cap. So I don't think we're ever going to, I mean, I say this, is there any way we ever approach $100 million?
Yeah. I mean, I'm with Jim. They keep saying it's not sustainable, but it keeps going up. Normally, if things aren't sustainable, they're falling.
But here's what I would ask you, like, what did the average Power 4 program clear this year in football?
Average Power 4?
Yeah. That's what they cleared, not the athletic department.
Yeah, in football, your average Power 4 program,
15 million?
I was going to say 10, but I'll give you 15.
I'm just saying, when you start to get to the point of a $100 million roster, I mean, like, you are losing money every year.
Because, you know, that's the football program that cleared 15. And to Jim's point, you know where that 15 went? It went to all the other programs.
Well, you know what private equity is going to say? You know, we don't need some of these Olympic sports.
Yeah, why are we paying swimming and diving this kind of money?
I would say Alabama football was closer to 60.
Well, he said average.
No, but I'm talking about then you got on the other side, Rutgers.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
Rutgers
the
lost.
average, you know, and Kansas, like, you know, what are they making?
Yeah. The part of that bill, I agree that it is bad for college football that coaches can leave before the season is over like Lane Kiffin did. I agree that's bad for college football. I do not like the government telling organizations and people when they can and can't take jobs. That's not good for us as a country when our government has that kind of power. Yeah. I don't disagree that it's wrong, but I also don't think it is the government's place to say, Lane Kiffin, you can't take a job then. You can only take a job at these times.
Well, the only way
that is very, very dangerous.
The only way that rule works is if you can't fire James Franklin after week 5.
That's right. There has to be balance and repercussions.
Yeah, but by the way, NFL, you can't take another job.
You cannot, but that is agreed upon not by the government saying it. That's the NFL saying it. The NFL says, here are our rules. If you want to be a coach here, you accept these rules.
I think ultimately you're going to have to, back to the combination of NFL and college football, you're going to have to implement some of the structure the NFL currently has.
And I'm fine with that, but I don't want the government.
We get to the 2 Super Leagues.
I mean,
you're not wrong about a lot of this. I don't want you to think we thought we were wrong.
Saban said it years ago. I mean, the way it's going.
Y'all were uncomfortable with 28 teams.
I was uncomfortable with you just saying it's going to be SEC and Big Ten only. But, I mean, we're losing sight of the forest for the trees if that's what we're discussing.
But, I mean,
here.
the number
think
probably is more like 40.
Yeah.
In each
I tell
league?
you, we didn't bring this up. I don't know if you guys saw this over the weekend. Jed Fish, his idea. I like Jed Fish's idea.
Is it another playoff idea?
It's another playoff idea, but I like it. So he's like, the Big Ten, if we want to really make this equitable, we play 9 conference games, but then we play 1 out of conference against the ACC, 1 against the Big 12, and 1 against the SEC.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, how have we never talked about this before? Because then what you do, if you're trying to find your participants, you're at large at the end of the year, and you're arguing the ACC is not nearly as good as the Big Ten. Well, if the Big Ten went 14-1 against the ACC, you've got a legitimate argument.
Yeah, but if you're getting like matchups.
Yeah, how are you able to?
You can't do them that far in advance. Now, maybe, and you've got home and away to worry about. I mean, there are a lot of hoops you got to jump
It's almost
through.
like you would have to pool, like, okay, if you're the Big 12, you tell us who your A pool is, your B pool, your C pool, your D pool, and then you share your like A's with A's in the Big 10 to the Big 12, the SEC to the ACC. I think that would be the only way to do it.
But now...
And then random draw, and think about the TV ratings you get for those 3 out of conference games.
But now, okay, so I'm in the A pool in the SEC, and I'm in the A pool in the Big 12, the ACC, and the Big 10. So that's where all 3 of my games are going to be.
No, I get that, but you
now,
know what?
All of a sudden, the B pool is going to make the playoffs because we beat each other up.
But if you
go A pool,
but again, you see that on paper. So an 8-4 in the A pool is much better than a 9-3 in the B pool.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I just think it would be awesome because then you don't have any bad games.
Yeah. No,
look, and I'm not a big Jed Fish guy, but I was like, damn, that makes a little bit of sense.
It would be entertaining. It would be unrealistic. Just start with the financials of it all. I got to count, if I'm Greg Byrne, I got to count on having 7 home games in Tuscaloosa.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You got to balance home and away, and that does become tricky. I like the concept of the idea. It is not a perfect idea, but it's better for us as the consumer, no doubt.
Champy's Chicken gets us to trash today. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling and the crew down there. Hand-cut chicken fingers, fantastic. The chicken that's brined overnight, cooked to order, piping hot when it comes out, juicy down to the bone. Fantastic. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales with a little heat in them. Fantastic. In-house made sides, in-house made dessert. It's all fantastically located in Alabaster, just off of Highway 119. It is champy'schicken.com.
Tell me about the whistles.
The whistles got woo. When you want to woo woo, it's that woo woo. You know what I'm saying?
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our friends from Bud Light. Quick, I came across this. The largest ever venomous snake was discovered in the United States. You know how big this thing is?
Technically, like pythons, they're not considered venomous, right?
This is the Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake.
I will say 12 feet.
I'm going to say 17 feet and... What is that? Softball size circumference.
My Lord, that would be scary.
I mean, give me 94 inches. What's 94 inches?
10 feet's 120.
8 feet? Roughly 8 feet?
Yeah, that's like 8.
Here's where it gets crazy, though.
Brooke says 7 feet, 10 inches.
Okay. The girth on this thing, it weighed 34 pounds. That's a big-ass snake.
Yeah, if you think 7 feet, 34 pounds, that is quite girthy.
And with the venom in Eastern Diamondbacks got lights out. Okay.
I went 12 feet, though. I was almost double.
I went 17.
You're 17.
God, that would be... I wouldn't leave the house.
Do you know how frightening a 17-foot
rattlesnake?
Dunaway had it softball.
Yeah,
softball
not the
size
17 feet python.
No.
That we know exists in the Everglades. A 17-foot rattlesnake.
Yeah. Could I hear the rattlers in the trees at night as I'm sitting in my patio from a 17-foot rattlesnake?
Yeah, like I said, you wouldn't be outside to begin with.
You'd be outside, and like the cicadas, you'd hear.
Oh, it just made me cringe.
Oh, there's a rattlesnake within a mile.
Social media influencer speaking out after being banned from Cedar Point and all other Six Flag parks for life. Quote, I had no idea that eating a 10-piece chicken nugget on a roller coaster would be a national headline, but here we are.
These influencers.
Alan Farrell told Fox 8. Now, the choice by the park came after they were made aware of a viral social media video showing Farrell attempting to eat McNuggets while riding the Millennium Force roller coaster recently at Cedar Point. Now, in the video, Farrell answers a challenge from one of his followers by sneaking the nuggets onto the ride in his pants. You think that's a teed up question that he gives himself? One point, even dips the nuggets sweet and sour. In the end, was only able to get down 7 nuggets on the coaster, which reaches speeds of 93 miles per hour.
Ugh. And by the way, in the video, the sweet and sour sauce goes on the person behind them because he does it on the way down a hill.
Yeah.
And it blew behind him.
Well, he's sitting in the back row.
Okay, well.
So it's not hitting anybody.
I'll let him off for that. But now somebody's going to get that seat afterwards, and probably feels like sweet and sour sauce.
So if he chokes out, is anybody liable?
That's probably where they sue.
That probably is.
And Cedar Point doesn't want to go to court, so they probably pay a settlement.
You think he's got a 9 to 5?
Jeez, that's disgusting.
Florida man was arrested after deputies say he repeatedly entered a home without permission and left behind a messy surprise after he soiled himself.
What a tattoo.
The county sheriff's office identified the suspect as 35-year-old Todd LeBoyton. The investigation began last week after a property owner from New York reported that someone had been trespassing inside of his property. According to the sheriff's office, deputies first responded to the home May 20th, but did not find anyone there despite seeing evidence that indicated someone had recently been inside of the property. When deputies returned the next day, the home again appeared vacant, but more signs suggested the intruder had returned. Now, according to the sheriff's office, quote, later that day, deputy was passing by the property and saw that something appeared differently. As deputies attempted a closer inspection, Todd exited and told deputies he went inside of the property because he had, quote, shit himself, needed to change clothes.
What a quote.
Now, during the investigation, sheriff's office said deputies also found meth in his possession.
Whoa. I mean, I know what the teardrops are. What is the crown above the eye? Does anybody have a guess?
That would be my nickname for him. Would be One-Eyed King.
And I don't believe this. I don't believe. Do I think this guy would care about human life? No. Do I think he's killed anybody? No.
The teardrops are kills, right?
That was an old.
Is that an urban legend?
I think it was legitimate at some point, but I think there's probably posers that get teardrops.
Yeah. I imagine there's some posers. What I always heard was that if it was an outline of a teardrop, it meant you lost someone to gang violence, and if it was filled in, then it means you were a killer.
Yeah, that one's filled in.
Did Michael Jackson really do a thing where he brought the Bloods and Crips together to try to create peace?
Yeah,
or was that just...
I
don't remember that. No, it was in the movie. I'm just asking, was it real?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it kind of felt like forced into the movie.
It didn't work out.
It did not work out. They were, in the movie at least, very peaceful that night. They enjoyed very much the bad... or was it Bad he was doing, or Beat It?
Beat It.
It was Beat It, yeah. They very much enjoyed the Beat It video.
Wasn't a lasting peace treaty, though.
Yeah, it did not appear to be, no.
You're going to have to help me here, Tyler. A Hatsune Miku cosplayer?
Hatsune Miku. We've had that character
close.
in Trash before.
Yep.
Some weirdo married like a doll of the character before.
Now this
White hair, blue lips.
What?
No, I don't know.
Shot in the dark.
This cosplayer reportedly sold cups of red liquid described as, quote, foot juice at an anime convention. Internet lost its mind. Now,
you thirsty, Jim?
Alleged stunt took place over the Memorial Day weekend at ParkCon, unofficial late-night gathering associated with Fanime Con 2026 in San Jose. Now, according to social media posts, that spread rapidly across X and Facebook. Several cosplayers dipped their feet into the coolers of red liquid, sold it to attendees for roughly $15 a cup, drawing crowds large enough to warrant handwritten signs advertising free feet juice and price tiers like $5 swig and a $10 shot.
Yeah. Now, I would say everybody knows the rules. One look, one touch. One look, one touch. Everybody knows the rules. I'm going to give her a good arch. That big toe is going to do it for me. That's going to be a 6.4 foot, 6.4.
Look at the dude back to the right, and that would be my look. What in the hell
what are we
is
doing?
going
What
on
are we doing
Now, I
here?
would tell you that her people, whatever her family tree is from, the DNA, they were not big walkers. They have very cushy toe cushions there. Look at the padding on the bottom of her toes.
Yeah,
like those. Analyzing this.
That's what he does.
That is fat padding there, man. That is that meat has not been pressed down on any pavement in the trailer park back in the day.
She's full shoes. Then is what you're telling me.
For a few years now, I've asked Jim repeatedly, like, what even makes a good foot? Now we're learning. It's fat padding.
Well, you got cushion. You got too big of a toe there. The arch is good though. Size seemed to be medium size.
Well, you could go
I mean, the
7.
toes, they all look swollen, actually.
Yeah, I know. The padding is abnormally padded.
Yeah.
What a weirdo. Like, even this girl, though, like, I don't care if people wanted to pay $500 to drink my foot juice. Wouldn't you feel weird sitting up there doing this?
I would. I mean, there is a price. Oh, no, there is. There's a price.
Yeah, I'm bothered that it's
$500.
not fresh foot juice. It's fresh feet juice. That bothers me too.
Fresh feet juice, $5 swigs.
Yeah. It's a hard pass.
Boy, she's beat the hell up, too.
Sydney Sweeney sells her bathwater for real.
I know. Oh, I'm sure she sells. I'm sure she could sell all she wants to as well.
Finally, sellers on Facebook Marketplace are going viral for their creative way to draw attention to listings that no one seemed to care about. Facebook Marketplace, one of the best ways to sell items you don't want or need anymore, but getting eyeballs on a product listing can be a challenge depending on what you're selling. One seller was trying to get someone to purchase some Caterpillar 950 forks and a dump bucket for over $10,000 combined. Given that most people probably don't have a need for such equipment, the seller, Brandon Carone, had to get creative, so he turned to AI for a big assist. If people wouldn't click for the parts, they'd click to see beautiful female models. Now, in the main photos for the two listings, Carone added AI models in shorts and nightwear, ended up getting a lot of attention. Listings caught the eyes of users who then shared them on X, where they went viral, amassed over 3 million views.
Did he sell the Caterpillar?
Now, sure enough, others soon started to try this tactic to great success. Suddenly, items nobody had inquired about had plenty of potential buyers. I don't know if he ever sold this, though. Doesn't really say in the article.
Yeah, it doesn't say if this guy ended up selling the Caterpillar, but other people were using it for workout equipment and ended up selling it pretty
Now, do you
quickly.
think if the four of them delivered it?
Well, I was going to say, I think a lot of people are going to ask, let's go really in depth what the $6,000 gets me here, right? Is there a delivery involved? Is this the delivery staff here? You know, some might pay $6,000 for that.
That always happens when there's a new game console. There'll be a listing of a PlayStation 5 that's like just under market, and then people snatch it up, and then the description of the listing will be like, this is actually just a printed out picture of a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so you don't think the young ladies come with the Caterpillar 950 QC forks?
Not even real ladies there, Brown.
You just can't trust anything anymore.
Nope.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. A reminder, we'll be down in Auburn coming up in just a few days as we get ready for the World Cup, as the World Cup's rolling through Auburn, the preparation, right?
What is that, next Wednesday? The 9th? Is that right? Is the 9th next Wednesday?
No, it's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yep.
Tuesday.
So it's next Tuesday. We'll be down there with our friends at Bud Light.
Yep, we will be down there getting ready for what should be a fun day. But pick up some Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy, and we will give you more details on that. I've got the name of the place. I don't want to butcher. It's like Buster's or Brothers or something with a B, I think.
Yeah, B. Okay.
Any idea?
Byron's?
Byron's? No,
Nope.
not Byron Smoke.
Not
I think they
Byron's.
sold that. Bodegetta?
Oh.
Bodegittas?
You guys just fill for a second.
Okay.
I will try to get it to you.
The
in 1 second.
Sorsby hearing is over, Jim. It has concluded.
With a ruling?
Without a ruling, but everyone that is covering this says that is not surprising.
No, you got to go back and deliberate.
Yeah, that there would...
Let's
there
break
would,
for lunch. I'll give you my ruling after lunch.
Yeah, but apparently everyone involved has left the courthouse, so the hearing is over. We'll see.
Anybody got a feeling on how it went?
I don't know. I'm looking at Ross Dellinger here. I'll tell you what old Ross says.
I feel pretty good that our prediction is...
Yeah.
Now, would I want to see Brendan Sorsby play?
Oh, I would love to see him play.
I'd
I
like
just
to see him play.
I don't think there's any way you can. Ross did not offer any commentary. I'm not certain he was there, but he says that it has concluded without a ruling, which was mostly expected. So there you go.
And here we go. It's Bunkers.
Bunkers.
June 9th will be 12 to 3. That is a little programming note. That's what we typically do when we go to these college bars. There will be Michelob Ultra and Stella girls there from 12 to 6. So,
okay.
And we'll be live 12 to 3.
Yeah, we'll
Bunkers.
be at Bunkers. Bunkers in Auburn, just off Toomer's Corner. I'm looking right here, just off East Glen near Toomer's Corner there.
All right. So that's next Tuesday. Set that programming alert in your phone, the live show 12 to 3 Central Time that day. We're back with you tomorrow. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America. Tyler will give us winners at some point from his competition that he did over on TNR Clips.
Yes. You can still go to TNR Clips and catch up on all the best conversations from the show, but winners from the contest will be announced this week.
All right. Look forward to that. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.